The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Stutter! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. This program starts now. Football is wonderful, and we got a chance to enjoy the hell out of a new national champion being crowned last night in Atlanta, Georgia. This college football season was absolutely magical. I was so lucky to be a tiny little part of it with College Game Day each and every Saturday, then the field passes as well throughout the college football playoff, and then obviously talking about it on this program every single week. It was a journey, I think, that we all had no idea about. We thought potentially the downfall of college football was coming. With NIL and transfer portal, are we going to lose everything that we loved about college ball? Are the passion and the pageantry going to disappear in favor of selfishness and disloyalty and money over anything else? Is there going to be a time now where no players will ever face adversity, so nobody will ever have enough mental toughness to be a great football player? Is college football going to be ruined because of the current state? That was the question marks going in to this particular season. And now here we sit after crowning the Ohio State Buckeyes the national champions last night. And I think we'd all say, that was the greatest fucking year of college ball that we've ever followed along with, certainly in the last recent history, but also ratings through the roof. The game last night was a blowout early, and then just like most college football games, a couple mistakes were made. The other team came climbing back in. Their fan base rose to their feet in the crowd. Holy shit, we watched big momentum go from one side to the other side of the stadium in the fourth quarter, and it's like Riley Leonard hasn't been able to complete a pass, but then he's able to drop dimes to Great House multiple times to get them back in this thing to become a one-score game in the fourth quarter after looking Dahn and throughout the... Riley Leonard's not supposed to make that throw.
No, perfect.
Okay? Great House isn't supposed to make that catch. Got draped on top of him. He makes a one-handed grab. That hadn't been happening a lot for this Notre Dame team, especially last night. Then it takes place because that is the magic of college football. And the magic ended with Will Howard dropping an absolute dime to Jeremiah Smith on a 3rd and 11 to put the game away. You know, there was a timeout called before that particular play by Notre Dame, who was down to their final timeout. And obviously there was enough time on the clock for Riley Leonard to get the ball back potentially if they were to stop them on that 3rd down, force a punt, waste their final timeout. Riley Leonard would have to run a 2-minute drill to go down the field and tie the game in the national championship. Does he do that? We don't know. We literally have no idea if he would be capable of doing that. But what Riley Leonard was showcasing in that comeback was potentially an opportunity to do as such. But Will Howard, Chip Kelly, Jeremiah Smith, that offensive line who held up remarkably and blocked great last night for a run game that had a guy go over 100, score 3 touchdowns, and then Jaden Fielding makes it an 11-point game with less than 30 seconds left. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. And if you think about the story arc of this Ohio State Buckeye team, you can't help but be pumped up for them and their entire organization. The program was questioned. The program was being called to be changed. That man was basically getting shipped out of town, not only by as he hucked his headset. I love that play.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely love that play by Ryan Day. I think him showcasing his emotions a good thing, not a bad thing, especially because it felt like during his times at Ohio State, he tried to be the super tough guy, maybe publicly. So whenever he started showcasing his emotion, jumping on his players, celebrating, doing his thing, post-Michigan game, you know, it felt like we saw the real Ryan Day, and we got a chance to see this real team. And what they have been since that Michigan game, all the way through the playoff, is by far the best team in college ball. And last night, they got a chance to hoist the trophy. It was a beautiful ending to a great season of college football that we enjoyed the hell out of. Going all the way back to Dublin, Ireland. The Toxic Table was here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Comment, it feels like just yesterday we were in Dublin, having a hop time with Seamus and McQuaid and all the lads over there. And then all the winding roads, the different storylines, the different teams that were undefeated. This team's going to go. This conference stinks. This conference stinks. This conference is best. This conference is the best. It's just like every week there was something magical. And although it feels like yesterday, it was the longest season college football has ever had. And it was electrifying from start to finish. You could find something every single week that was the best thing that had happened in some time.
Yeah, we've come a long way from getting nuked doing the show in Dublin that one day, and I think drank 50 to 60 Guinnesses a piece in one night with Seamus. It was a great time. But, man, it was
Thanks
great.
to Seamus, by
Shout out Seamus.
Seamus kicked off that college football season for us.
Yeah, they had Notre Dame winning it, and they were in the final. It was a great call by him, but no, it was great. I mean, there was that span of 4 or 5 weeks where whoever was the 1 seed was losing. Like every single week, it felt like we had a top 10 matchup between two teams. It was one of those situations where because of the realignment, the new matchups we were getting to see was awesome. Georgia, Texas in October, where I think that was the week after Bama beat Georgia or whenever it was. But it was one of those incredible seasons. You really couldn't have scripted it better. The 12-team playoff, watching the home environments for those playoff games was something as well. You wonder if anything's going to change with that too. But
well, what did you hear?
I've heard a few things that maybe there will be changes. Probably
from who?
From my sources. I'm not.
Really?
We talked to many people.
Wow. Powerful people, if you will.
No big deal.
We are all of a sudden sitting in rooms where powerful people are jaunting through all of a sudden.
Yeah, maybe we had an ear to the wall because we were very close to a few people, a little cup, if you will. But yeah, people in button-downs and nice shoes were telling us some things.
Just real quick, though, with what you're referring to, there is no way when that decision was made for us to be in that particular room that they had any idea.
Massive oversight. Massive oversight.
The most important meeting in college football is happening this thin of a wall on the other side of where we are. We cannot hear their meeting, okay? We're not saying we are listening in or eavesdropping. They could certainly hear us going, right next to them. We had no idea that meeting was happening until somebody came in and were like, hey, they got another hour in the session that they're currently in right there. And it was like, session? Is this politics? Or like,
kind of. Pretty close.
In a way. Basically all of college football is in that room. So if you guys can keep it down a little bit, we're like, oh, shit. And then where we were going to get our waters was the same exact place that all these people were. And, we've been very lucky. I've been very lucky to be part of College Game Day. The boys have been around, obviously. And everybody's so incredibly kind to me and to us that are in these positions. Not all college football. There are a lot of people in college football that have said terrible things about me throughout my run here at College Game Day. So anytime I'm at these big college events, I'm always in the back of my head like, I know at least 3 out of 10 of you have said horrendous things about me in my addition to college football. So, I'm always on guard. I'm always on guard, but trying to at least meet people, hear your stories. So whenever, like commissioners that we've met in our path are walking directly out of those meetings, and then I think they get excited to come talk to us as a group, and we're ready. It's first reaction of these things. So your sources that you are referring to, I do think there is going to be some change, but that was always the plan for this college football playoff. Obviously, the first round being what it was, 10 points was the closest score.
Yeah.
That was Indiana to Notre Dame.
Yep.
Indiana's only 2 losses this year were against Ohio State, national champion, Notre Dame, national champion runner-up. Look out for Kurt Signetti and the boys down in Bloomington potentially continuing to build on a great program, which is another story of this college football season. Indiana has a football team. Vanderbilt has a football team. That's only possible because the transfer portal and the NIL. And then you look at these teams, obviously there was a couple. SMU makes the playoffs. Are you kidding me? Indiana makes the playoffs. More schools get a shot to shine.
Yeah.
Turned out the big names are going to do the best.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Kind of how it goes.
You know why?
Why's that?
Here you go.
Here you go.
Cold hard key.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
That's going to matter.
Yeah, big time.
And we thought it was just Ohio State at the beginning of the year. That was almost like the myth that was being told. And I saw some people still saying it last night on the internet. They paid $20 million for their roster. I hate to break it to some people, but from what we have learned is there was a lot of teams paying $20 million for their roster. And that number is only going to be going, depending upon what this ruling is and how it works out. That could obviously adjust it. But there was a lot of alumni spending a lot of money to get players on their team because they learned quickly, I can't own an NFL team, but I am an alumni at this particular. I can directly affect if we're going to win. Yeah. Can I get tickets to every game? Yeah. Will you guys say that I'm the reason why we're? Yeah. How much do you need? We need $2.5 million for this guy.
Done.
Got it.
Give me 10.
Okay, that's one position. There was that's multiple.
Yeah.
Let alone the guys that aren't even playing that are on the roster that are getting paid. So if you're talking about the amount of money that's actually being paid for some of these teams, I mean, it is, and you can kind of see it in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You got to see who is moving, who's not. That's why Nick Saban's call for regulation yesterday is one that I think is being echoed by everybody. It's like there has to be some sort of rules, some sort of comps. Joining us, 9-year NFL vet, absolute legend during these field passes. Looked so cool last night.
Again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler.
D-Butch.
College football is moving much more like NFL football.
Yes.
Obviously with contracts and free agency and everything like that. The NFL has comps, comparisons obviously is what comps means, for salaries, what people get. There's marketing deals like, hey, this is status quo, this is what this is. They have a market already established. Right now with college ball, they're trying to establish a market, but the market is just allowed to be whatever. I think everybody's seeing it the same way, and I think college football is only going to get better and better because of it.
Yeah, got to have some guardrail, but I love the parity in the sport, more parity than ever. And you mentioned it, Connor, the number one team going down week after week, the different storylines. Everybody failed to mention UConn getting 9 wins as well this season with Jim Moore. So shout out to UConn getting their 9
What conference
wins.
you guys in?
We're working on it. One of the teams independent. That was just in the national championship. So
Get all the money.
It can be done. It can be done.
Okay.
Big Ten versus independent.
You guys play on NBC every week?
No. But we did play in the Fenway Bowl. Did you check that?
Did you win that?
We did win that, actually. And then they go on Bill Belichick's record. Bill Belichick been back in college, being in college now. So much is going on, with the players. I think the depth will be more of that gap now once you get later in the playoffs and later in the season, because now a lot of these backups are just going to different places, going to different schools and taking their opportunity starts. But what Ohio State was able to do, retaining all those players from their roster, the seniors being able to go out, how they wanted to go out, coming back, the Sonny Styles, the Simons, the Jack Sawyers of the world, and then bringing in a guy like Jeremiah Smith, that, best player in the country. And when it's nut cutting time, all the marbles on the table, you go to him down the field. So Will Howard coming over, like just everything that they did, Chip Kelly, Jim Knowles with the defense, and then Ryan Day, everything that team, had to battle through, man. It was an awesome finish.
Jim Knowles, we watched him walk around pregame on the field yesterday, just stalking his prey, arms behind his back, just like the slowest walk, and he was just watching Notre Dame's pregame warm-ups. He didn't say a word to anybody, his face never changed. That guy, since he came over
3 years ago?
Yeah, when you started doing game day, and the big thing about Ohio State was the year before that, their defense had just got to a place where it never was before.
Offensive line and defense was being questioned.
Yes, bingo. And then Jim Knowles comes in and they get better every single year. They were the number 2 defense last year, number 1 defense this year. That guy is an assassin.
Yeah, he's they're saying he's potentially going to leave to go to Oklahoma, was being rumored. Mm-hmm. I guess he came from Oklahoma State, right? If I'm not mistaken. I guess family basically all back over.
Where'd Oklahoma's DC go?
He went to West Virginia.
I did go there.
Yeah.
Left Oklahoma to go to West Virginia?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's when you know.
Yeah,
it's a new day, brother.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And congrats to Ryan Day getting a chance to enjoy his life as the head coach at Ohio State, because there hasn't been a lot of that. He's won a lot. His percentage of victory is literally top 4 in the history of the game with so many games already coached. I mean, just a resume that has now been, punched. It's got to be a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
If he was to stop, he's a national champion. His percentage of winning as a coach is in the top 4 all time, I think, is what they showed.
Third all time.
Third all time, top 4 last night. A third all time on game day. A lot of games, so it's up over 80 games or something like that. This dude, very good, has never, boom, this moment right here. It's this is the first time he seemingly was allowed to say, yes, we did it. We finally did it. We've won a lot of games. We've never won the game, obviously, whatever we've had to. We've never won the last game of the season. Now there's only one team that's able to go into the offseason completely happy and content, knowing that what they did the last year all paid off. And now they have the ability to say, yeah, if we do what we do, we can win it all. This is what it is. We just did it. This man getting a chance to enjoy it, his family getting a chance to enjoy it. Good for Ryan Day, dude.
Man.
Awesome. Good for Ryan Day. Legitimately.
Great for Ryan Day, and then even how they were able to do it. Like obviously Travion Henderson, having to split carries with Judkins. Yeah. You got Ibuka, who broke the Ohio State, all-time receptions record, and he had to be the number 2 to Marv, and now number 2 to Jeremiah. So like even as a recruiting tool, like hey. Come over here, brother. Everybody eats over here. Everybody eats B. Come over here and get some. So just dope to see how this team came together and just adversity, man. Like the Michigan shit, getting that loss. And I'm sure some people in Ohio still like, obviously they're very, very happy now, but now, hey, you better be Michigan.
Yeah, listen, you won the entire country's thing. We need to make sure we win the northern border one. Okay, that needs to happen. And I'm sure that'll be talked about at some point during the offseason. Ryan Day will have to answer questions for it. But if you're Ryan Day, the weight of the world, the entire state of Ohio just got lifted off of your shoulders for 24 hours. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Dominant run.
But just knowing that you could get it done is, I think, what a lot of people wanted to know. The reason why people got so mad about him losing to Michigan, because they thought this is the biggest game on your schedule every single year. You can't get the job done. So it's always like, can this guy get the job? When we're judging quarterbacks in the NFL, it's like, can this guy get the job done? That's all we're wondering. Can he, whenever it's all said and done, can this guy get the job done? Coaches that are just getting hired. Ben Johnson, new head coach of the Chicago Bears.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations to Ben Johnson. Do we think Ben Johnson, without MCDC leading the culture, can he get the job done? That's what everybody thinks. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler. Do you think Ben Johnson will be able to do it up there in Chicago with Caleb Williams? Just acting as if the building will be able to win. Let's not say the building has been what it's been, where it's potentially an anchor for the football team. Everything else that's happening in the building. Let's say the building is a good building.
Okay.
Ben Johnson gets in there with Caleb Williams. Do you think he's going to be able to be a leader to get the job done?
Yes.
That's all we want to know in a coach, right?
Yes.
After a year, still think it. 2 years, you don't get the job done, still think it. This year, make or break year, now third year. But if you don't get it done for a while, then immediately the question is, this guy can't get the job done. This guy can't get the job done. It's the easiest thing for us humans who have easy brains to judge somebody on. Guy can't win the big one. Guy can't win the big one. Then he wins the big one, and it's like, can win the big one. How many big ones? But it's not can he win the big one. It's how many. And that's a vastly different question. And Ryan Day no longer has to answer that question. He's young still, too.
Oh, yeah.
People say his beard is really dark.
He dyes
They
it.
say
It's young.
What?
He dyes it.
Oh, 'cause
That's
his
fine.
hair.
That's fine. It's not a big deal.
No, he doesn't.
he does
His hair
not.
is dark.
Yeah, you know how stressed out that guy is every day of his life? His hair is not that dark.
Well, you're talking about being stressed out. A guy wins a national championship, hops on a golf cart, almost breaks his leg. This happened last
What do you
night after
mean?
the game as they were heading to the press conference. He, Will Howard,
It's pretty good.
busted axle.
Just reverse.
Busted axle. Can't move. Stuck on the wall. Ryan Day goes, are you kidding me? Is this, what, we just won the national championship? Golf cart stuck. They did, we'll walk, they said. And we'll have you know, we were walking around back here, real cold in those,
Freezing.
in those back tunnels. I mean, it was really cold down there. Not as cold as it is in Indianapolis right now. 4 degrees this morning, it said. That's what thermostat said. No, the wind chill is. I assume it's cold everywhere. But in these back hallways, obviously very chilly. Ryan Day's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So that situation happens after the game. Hilarious. Happy nobody actually got actually injured. I don't know how she thought she was ever going to make that.
No, it's tight.
Well, the wall came out of nowhere. It was like 10 feet away, and then it shifted when she started driving.
I do appreciate thinking that, like, hey, if I just go 50 into this thing, it might move back.
Yeah, aggressive. Full send.
I mean, she was looking at the wall as she hits the wall. So it's not like she was looking ahead and maybe there's an indent here in the wall, stops. She's staring at, can you go back to the beginning of that? She's literally staring at the wall as she runs into it. It's not like she's looking down the hall. Look at this, just looking right at it.
Didn't ease into it.
She's excited. They want national.
You can't be giggling after you do that. You can't be. I mean, she's just acting like they're on some, amusement park ride. Ryan Day damn near had to have his leg amputated.
Why isn't it going? Oh, my God. What's going? Oh, I broke the axle because I hit the wall so hard. Okay, this one's going to be stuck here forever. A lot of Austin Powers. Showing Austin Powers.
Sure.
And I do love Austin's persistence, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've been in a couple of those situations before, we all have, where it's like, wow, this is going to be a fucking 15-point turn here
Yes, it
if
is.
I want to do this. Or am I backing this all the way?
Yeah.
Am I backing this all the way out of here? Or am I doing the whole song and dance right now? She said, I'm not doing the whole song and dance.
No.
We're getting to the press conference.
Yeah.
Ride this wall.
Right now. Yeah, she probably thought maybe she.
Yeah, go up on the side.
Oh.
And turn it. We've seen those videos of cars on their sides.
She's thinking she's turning that son of a bitch sideways.
Yeah, exactly.
She's going on 2 wheels.
Yeah, it happens.
Ryan Day's hanging off the side. One of these. That's what she thought Ryan Day was going to do.
Yeah, he might even get out and kind of walk the wall. Style points.
And Will Howard's actually going to be on the street walking down with his hand on the thing. That's what she thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy.
Okay. Well, I'm happy everybody's okay.
Huh?
I'm just saying, not beating allegations.
What's that?
What
That's
allegations?
it. I'm not saying anymore.
Again, D-Butts?
Wait, who?
After
Ryan
what
Day?
you did last night?
I don't know
What
you
did I
said.
do last night?
Yeah, you did a lot of milk checking.
Yeah.
Oh no!
National championship.
Yeah.
You're in the game. You're in the flow of the game.
Yeah,
on the
field.
sideline.
Yeah,
just
competitive.
locker room talk.
Oh, look at how white this guy is. How's he doing it? It was
Good
It was a great game, but I am very happy for Ryan Day, even though he almost got his leg busted.
Yeah.
Immediately afterwards.
Without a doubt.
Ben Johnson going to the Chicago Bears. Green Bay Packers owner Ty Schmidt. You nervous about that, huh? Ben Johnson. Everybody wanted Ben Johnson to be their head coach. Not only this coaching cycle, last coaching cycle. Now he's going to the NFC North, staying in the NFC North. He knows you guys all too well from his time up there in Detroit, Ty.
Yeah, is he a defensive guy?
You'll find one.
Yeah.
He's already been putting a staff
I don't give
for
a
weeks.
shit. I
He's
don't
been
give a
putting a
shit
staff
at
together
all.
for a long time.
He has been. Which Detroit fans absolutely love. They love that he's been putting a staff together, long enough for them to get their asses beat in the divisional round of the playoffs. But, we go back to it. It's, can the guy win the big one? I don't know. And obviously he's an unbelievable play caller, but just from the outside looking in, it looks like he has absolutely no personality. Like, I don't know if he's just super stoic.
I see him celebrate on the sideline all the time. Double.
I don't know.
He's a computer science major from North Carolina.
That doesn't do a whole lot for him.
Yeah, he knows the stuff.
He played ball there, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Walked on
Walk-
there. Yeah, he backed up T.J. Yates in North Carolina.
Walk-ons gotta have good vibes.
Great
vibe.
Gotta have great.
So a lot of
locker room
people
vibes.
saying, hey, not once did you see Jared Goff go up and give this guy a hug, celebrate with him. Never happened once. So
That's a
I don't
goof
know.
problem.
I don't know.
Even after fake.
Didn't do it. Didn't
Against
do it.
the
I don't know.
Bears?
That's
I'm
where he
just
did
saying, the Bear, like, we've done this song and dance with the Bears 1,000 times. So I don't know if bringing in a guy like Ben Johnson just overnight is like, oh, hey, the Bears are going to win the division now. Like, you have to kind of prove that a little bit, okay? Because like I said, I've been watching Packers versus Bears for a long time. Been watching the Bears for a long time. Zito, I'm sure, is ecstatic, and he should be, because they could have done the thing that everyone, like, they could have hired Eddie George, and nothing against Eddie George, but like,
jeez,
they threw that
Eddie
name.
George is sitting out there
Well,
just
no,
taking a little shrapnel.
they threw that name out there, and then anyone was like, well, Eddie George hasn't exactly been a world beater at Tennessee State or wherever he's
They
been.
could have
It's
hired
like
the best CFL coach.
Exactly. They could have hired Mark Trestman again, but they didn't. They got arguably the best guy of this cycle. But it's the same thing. Like, they have to go do it. And until they go do it, I don't know if I'm initially going to be like, oh, wow, Ben Johnson's going to take him to the Super Bowl.
Foxy, I heard all the Detroiters thanking Ben Johnson for getting this offense to a place that was winning them more games than they've ever won in the history of the Detroit Lions, putting them in a position to have home field advantage through the playoffs. Ben Johnson, a massive piece of this brand new Lions operation. So has there been a thank you from the city of Detroit for Ben Johnson, or how's this all? Congratulations, head coach. Sure. This guy's been working for Boston College.
Yeah.
Then he goes to Miami, has every job in Miami, has worked his way up. He's cut his teeth.
Dog.
Former walk-on in North Carolina. This guy loves ball. He's done so much for so many places. Detroit, obviously the place that has benefited from his big brain on a regular basis.
Right.
Over the last year. They said, go on, Ben.
No.
Congrats.
Everybody's pissed off. I have no idea why, but all Lions fans are so mad at Ben Johnson. They're saying that we played like crap because he was thinking about his future head coaching role with the Chicago Bears. I don't get it at all. I could care less that he's leaving us. I could care less that he's going to the Bears, because guess what, boys? We've known he's going to leave us for the last 2 years. We're actually lucky that he stayed with us this year, and we're lucky that we had the best offense in the NFL, the best offense in Lions history. I'm grateful for what Ben Johnson did for the Detroit Lions. And guess what? We talk about on this show, more than any other show, the most important thing you can have for a team is culture. And we'll see if Ben Johnson can do that. Can he dial up plays? Absolutely. Caleb Williams, he needs to be smart. He needs to know this offense. That's the only way it's going to work. And also, the Bears, You need an offensive line because Ben Johnson shit doesn't work without a great offensive line. So, I am thankful and grateful for Ben Johnson. Everything
but
he
there's
did.
a lot of people in Detroit saying he got Chicago.
Can't figure out why.
Yeah,
There's a lot of jobs that were open. I think that he picked and choose which job he's going to. He went to Chicago. They're pissed he's in the NFC North. I appreciate that type of fan base. Obviously, getting mad about anything is good if you can, especially at this time after you lose the way that goes. He's put a staff together, which I think every coach that is ever going to be a head coach has done either during their time of coaching, whenever they talk to somebody, meet with somebody. Dennis Allen, obviously the interim head coach at one point for the Saints, defensive coordinator now for Ben Johnson. Now they're big brain. People enjoy him. Ben and Dennis have probably talked about this a lot over the past, not just over the last couple weeks.
Right.
I assume this has been something that's been decided, but I appreciate that Detroit's all pissed off. What are you grinning for over here?
I mean, look, all those things Foxy listed, those are real cool. Most wins, coolest offense. They don't hang banners for that shit, okay? So at the end of the day, all this will just be forgotten. And true, some teams do, but that would have been a 2023 banner because they were only the NFC finalists last year. And I to be honest, I don't agree with many things that the Detroit fan base is all about. Maybe Eminem and Kid Rock perhaps, but I agree with him on this one, okay? How do we know Ben Johnson didn't have a couple cool plays that he had in his back pocket, but he was like, well, I don't want to use these now. I'm about to beat Caleb's OC.
No, he didn't do that.
How do we know?
We
don't know that. We don't know that. He might have had some cool Jared goof in the flat, catching the ball, running wild, brother. But we don't know that. Instead, he said, let's just do the J-Mo reverse pass. He'll throw a pick. And, whoops. I didn't mean to call that one.
He's not going to call that when he's in Chicago.
No, not anymore because he figured that out in the playoffs against the Commanders. Oh, and what was the OC for the Commanders doing? Hey, I'm not going to do interviews until this run's over. I'm focused on this team right now, right here. And don't even get me started, okay? Aaron Glenn, what was he thinking about? But when that defense was letting up 38 points, okay? What happened there? Of course, they let up 45, but one of those was a pick six. Oh, a pick six from a play Ben Johnson drew up? Was that?
Whoa, they weren't working against MCDC.
I don't know. I don't think they were either, but I don't know for a fact if they were or if they weren't because a lot of the talk was those are the top two guys.
They're going to get jobs.
This cycle.
Schefter came on our shows like, these two guys are going to get jobs regardless.
Yeah, and they're game planning for the game against the Commanders, and they're thinking to themselves, man, this is fun. But I just got off a Zoom call with an organization I'm about to run. So
not a lot of do-dos, remember? Not a lot of do-dos. They were only scheduled for like a 2-day period. Everybody was doing them.
That was the week before? It was the week before on their off time.
Yeah, but then they cut it off. It wasn't like it was in the past. In the past, it was like a texty, FaceTimey. We're going to go meet in person-y, like day before biggest game of all time. The NFL's tried to fix it. Connor brought up a lot of good points there. I didn't even think about Ben Johnson maybe keeping a couple plays in the back pocket for Caleb Williams to do.
How do you know?
I didn't even think about him starting to dream up plays that Caleb could do that Jared Goff definitely can't
Bingo.
do. I didn't even think about him potentially being distracted going into the biggest game of the year because of how smart and creative he is. How could his brain not start to venture in what he could do with Caleb Williams as opposed to what he could do with Jared Goff? Oh, my God, I didn't even think about that.
It's probably a third and short, and he was thinking to himself, man, I guess we got to run, crack toss again, where if I had Caleb Williams, maybe we're running a little read option RPO. And
Knock it off.
He's looking at that play.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Knock it off.
He wrote it down.
Knock it off.
He wrote it down.
He wasn't
right
just
here.
holding back plays. I heard from people around the league.
What do you mean, like fans around the league?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
People around the league that he was actually calling plays so the Lions would lose because he was worried that if they went to another round, that the Bears would hire someone else and he wouldn't get that job. So he was.
All right. This is not a sabotage mission from Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson.
That's why it makes no sense that Lions fans are mad. He knew he was going to Chicago. This has been a done deal for probably weeks at this point. I don't understand why Lions fans are surprised.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen.
Are they mad because it's the first time the Lions have ever had an OC plucked? Probably.
That has been wanted,
It
or
is.
DC?
It actually is the first time ever. Since like the 50s or something. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Yeah. So maybe they just don't know. Maybe they just don't know how it works.
One last thing that we didn't mention yesterday or today, we were banged up. We had a lot of injuries. That's why we lost the game, right?
It's
not their fault.
I agree. A lot of injuries throughout the year. And the question now is, can MCDC win the big one?
Right.
Can Aaron Glenn win the big one with the Jets, assumingly, is what everybody's kind of saying. Can Ben Johnson win the big one with the Bears and Caleb? We shall see. Ryan Day did win the big one last night on the call alongside Chris Fowler. He's the face of college football and also the face of Thursday Night Football for the NFL. He kicks off each week on Amazon Prime alongside Al Michaels, Ladies and gentlemen, old baby Blue Eyes, former president of Ohio, Kirk Herbstreit.
Yay!
Sorry,
what's up, guys?
You caught the tail end of a tangent there about everybody saying Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were trying to make the Lions lose because they were focused on future jobs. We don't think that's true. This is normal operating procedure. But let's talk about Ryan Day quickly, and then we'll move into all the other ball conversations. This whole thing started because Ryan Day can now say to others and himself, I can win the big one. I can win the national championship. Do you think that respect is going to radiate through the state of Ohio and college football for him? And how long does that follow him or carry him? I told AJ last night, let's give Ryan Day a lifetime contract, the Ohio State, after winning the national championship. AJ said, I don't think that's how that works, but let's move forward. What do you think this does for Ryan Day after that big win, Herbie?
Well, you know how that, I mean, anytime you win a national championship, it's in the NFL, it's like winning a Super Bowl. You just go into a different galaxy. You go into a different stratosphere. And I don't think he was ever in trouble at Ohio State. You know, I think rational minds behind the scenes, president, athletic director, I mean, they're all in before this 4-game run. But, you know, what they put together is historic. I mean, it's the first 12-team playoff that we've seen. It's a team that's coming off a very, very heartbreaking loss. You guys, you know, obviously talked about this, and they talked about 4 games, getting to 4 games and it not being over. And it's pretty easy after you lose a 4th time to your rival to fall apart. Guys, move on, get ready for the league, do whatever you're going to do. And I'll tell you, Ryan Day did a great job, and I'm sure AJ would agree with this. If he didn't have so many veterans, and you go around that defense, you know, JTT, Jack Sawyer, Tyleik Williams, Ty Hamilton, that's just the front 4. Cody Simon, Sonny Styles, Brandon Hancock, Caleb Downs has become a guy they rely on, Lathan Ransom, Denzel Burke. I mean, these guys have been around for 4 years, and they've won some big games. They lost to Georgia a couple years ago, lost to Michigan. And I just think there was a buy-in. And I think that's what made it so special. Is not just Ryan Day. You're happy for him and his staff, but those veteran players that said, guys, we can do something off of this loss. If he didn't have that veteran presence in the locker room, I don't know if they accomplished this. So I think those seniors deserve a ton of credit for pulling together and getting it done those last 4 games.
Hell yeah, and it was an honor to watch them from the sideline. Obviously, you get to call the games as well, but us just getting a chance to watch them.
How'd that go last night, dude?
Dude, it's so cool. So this leads me to my next question. Obviously, your son is on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Zach, who we obviously know, dog, good dude. Love his vibes, love his energy. He's on the team. He's now a national champion forever. AJ was holding back tears last night at the end of the game whenever we were on the sideline, and he tried to divert it, you know, classic AJ. He goes, yeah, what are you going to do next year now? You know, like that was like his, he was like, you know, but he was emotional for Ohio State to win that. I think he was so proud of that team. I think he is a massive fan of all those players because of what they had to deal with. I think he understands it. Being an Ohio guy, in Ohio, around all Ohio State fans, played there. Like, I think he gets it. So I think he was fighting back emotions as well. And then we saw you with Scott Van Pelt after the game and Chris Fowler in the booth where you got emotional as well last night. And obviously, anytime somebody gets emotional on television, that's going to be reacted to. But for us, I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was cool to watch you kind of let the world know how you actually feel, as opposed to just being these baby blue eyes in a suit calling a game. You're an Ohio guy. You're the former president of Ohio. Your kid's on that team. I really appreciated what you did. And did you know it was coming? When did you know you weren't going to be able to hold it in? And how do you feel after a situation like this happens on national television, Kirk?
I only know how I feel at the time. That's not something you think about or predict. It's just, it was almost like a perfect storm for me. My son had heart failure 2 years ago. They were talking about a heart replacement there for a while, and he had to medically retire. And Ryan Day, I think the gratitude I have for Ryan Day, putting his arms around Zach and keeping him involved. He's almost like a GA with what he was doing, and Ryan insisted on putting his arms around him, Chip Kelly, all these guys. So there was that side of it, looking down and seeing him in his jersey after, potentially facing, replacing your heart to that. I haven't really talked about this publicly, but Allie, my wife, faced some stuff. It's been a tough year for me behind the scenes. My wife got diagnosed with breast cancer. Ben dies. It was just it's a lot of emotion. And when you do what we do, you endure. You do your job. And I think what happened, couldn't predict it, but when they won, I was so happy for Ryan Day and those players that I just talked about because of what they faced and all the stuff behind the scenes. It was almost like, I don't know, maybe a release of all that penned up stuff. And it just got the best of me. I'm an emotional guy in general, and when things touch my heart, I'm not good at talking, when that happens. And Scott came to me. I was already a little bit kind of dealing with it, and then he came to me first, and I was like, "Why do you got to come to me?" kind of thing. Yeah. And that was just real. It was just me talking, and I think, like I said, it was a perfect storm of emotions of a lot of stuff going through my head, and looking down and seeing my son, my wife, is in the booth with me. It was a lot, but. Just happy for those players. That's a lifelong memory. That fan base will never forget this run they put on, and you're just proud. You're happy for them. You're for what they faced at the end of that Michigan game. And I talked to these guys behind the scenes and know what they were going through and how hurt they were, and for them to endure that, overcome that. Man, what an example for sports. What an example for all of us in our walk in life to go through adversity and learn that, we grow more going through adversity. And they did as a collective unit. They overcame. And I just, whether it's Ohio State or any other team that happened to be Ohio State, it makes it that much more. But I'm a big sucker for team. And when I see people go through stuff and come together and overcome, sign me up. I just love it. And it happened to be my team. So, there was just a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for sharing all that. Team sports are the greatest thing on earth for all the reasons you just laid out. And shout out to the 12-team playoff for being a little bit more forgiving to teams that potentially have a hiccup or a setback, because them getting a chance to kind of make up for the loss to Michigan, for themselves, for their team, for their state is beautiful. Shout out to your wife, Allie, absolute badass. Obviously, we knew what was happening behind the scenes. Nobody talked about it publicly. Feels like everything that happened to you this year was a lot. And the way you were able to maintain professionalism on the microphone, both calling games, both Thursday and Saturday night, and on game day, while still bringing juice to all the game day meetings, and I assume all the other meetings you've had to do all year, I could see how going from one thing to the next while dealing with everything, and then a little finality almost to the season, and then you see the happiness of the people that have been close to you struggling. It's like, I can see how you get emotional, brother. So don't you ever feel bad about that. Yeah. And we love you, man. Know that. We're proud of you, buddy. Not an easy year, man. Not an easy year. I know your ass in the Bahamas right now, but not an easy year for you at all, man. Legit, you had to fight. There was a lot. Heavy. Your family did. You did. It was proud of you, man. You had a great year. You need to know that.
Brother. Well, that's why I always, having each unit I work with, Al Michaels and that group, we become so tight. They know a lot of the stuff that I went through. And, when you go through stuff as a team, whether it's sports or work, I'm sure you guys in that room go through some stuff, and when you share it, I feel like you get vulnerable with each other. It just creates a tight unit. And, man, I can't not say enough about Amazon and what they did for me behind the scenes, and the game day guys, you and Nick and Reese and Dez, our whole crew behind the scenes. Like I'm a part of three families. Like you're a part of this big strong family right here. You're part of the game day family. You're a part of the WWE family. You know better than anybody that you want to be 1,000% present. Like, this is the only thing that matters to me, whether it's Thursday night or game day or Saturday night. And you get that, the wear and tear that takes, and yet you show up every single week like it's week one, and it's what we do. And no, we're not asking for anybody to feel sorry for ourselves. We sign up for this stuff, but it's not just, hey, show up and call a wrestling match. Hey, show up and call a game the way you guys do on ESPN2 with these big games. I mean, it's the prep, it's the grind, it's the love of it, and the finality, as you said so perfectly. I think it just, confetti comes down, you're looking down, seeing it. It's just a release, I think, is the best way to describe that. And I just happened to be on national TV.
Yeah. Which has happened to you a lot in your life. Obviously, you've been a face and a voice for sports, college ball, for a very, very long time. Before that, he was doing radio 4 hours a day over there in Ohio. I mean, you're talking about being in the sports world a long time, loving sport, loving team sport. We're proud of you, man. Obviously, what we do is a lot better than truck driving or laying bricks or anything like that. Those
people doing the real work.
Those are hard jobs. Yeah, military, cops, EMT, firefighter, you name like real jobs.
Yeah.
But watching you have to go through the human side of everything while also being in a microscope and in a fishbowl, obviously lucky to do it, thankful to do it. You handled it very, very well. And I don't think anybody would have known all the shit you were going through when you were going through it. Because there was some news you got like 2 hours before we go live on game day. And it's like, are you going to be all right out here? And it's like, you locked in, you did your job for the people because it's not about you. It's about the sport. It's about the fans. So you being able to do that, I want to let you know, is admirable shit all year. Legit. And
appreciate you.
No problem. I appreciate you too, man. Now, let's talk about some college ball because the season was awesome. We were so lucky to kind of be a part of it. Ty has a question for you as a former Catholic school kid.
Yeah, Herbie, on the other side last night, we all know that when Brian Kelly left Notre Dame, he basically said, hey, I'm going to LSU because I don't believe I can win a national title at Notre Dame. Obviously, an unbelievable run. Last night ended up being closer, I think, than anyone thought it was going to be, at halftime or midway through the third quarter. But when you look at college football as a whole and where it's going, do you think that was Notre Dame's best chance to win a national title? Or do you think everything that they have in place with the boosters and the reach of that institution and university, will Notre Dame be able to get back to that point? Do you think Marcus Freeman will eventually win a national title?
Ty, I'm all in on what they've done. And I'll be incredibly honest and candid. I was raised in the 70s and 80s, and Notre Dame football was Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, whoever you want to say. I mean, they were a different level. Everybody tried to be Notre Dame in that era. And I think after the Lou Holtz era, as you know, Ty, so well, they've been searching. They've had some moments, when Brady was there with Charlie. I mean, they've had some good moments. But I don't know, and Brian Kelly had some moments. But I don't know if I've ever felt like this about Notre Dame. As far as since the Lou Holtz era, I think they're scratching the surface. I think he's only going to build a stronger roster. Kids are drawn to him. They want to play for him. They want to play for that school. I always kind of simplify it and say he's making Notre Dame cool, which sounds like whatever, but when you can reach 17, 18, 19-year-old kids and make a brand, kind of like nobody cares about Notre Dame to all of a sudden the way he carries himself on the sideline, the way his teams represent themselves, I think this is the beginning. Now, you got to go find a quarterback, obviously, and I think C.J. Carr, by the way, is a super freaky, talented guy. Lloyd Carr's grandson. He's a freshman. They got Angeli, who stepped in against Penn State. But, guys, they're not going away. I just think that with the new 12-team playoff not being in a conference, they have favorable opportunities to get into the top 12. I just don't see that. I don't think this was, hey, they did it in 2012. See you later. Back to your corner. I don't see that, man. I see this is the beginning. And they learned a lot. I feel bad for the older players, but those younger guys going through that, fighting back from 31-7 when it looked like it was on its way to 45 or 52-7.
Fighting Irish.
And they just fought back, like they did all year. So I was pumped for them, and I think they're just they're not going, as long as he's there, they're not going anywhere.
Culture established, seemingly, for Notre Dame. Old guys will be able to pass it down to the young lads that come into that locker room. The quarterback is the only thing.
Yeah.
Quarterback's the only thing that matters.
I'm telling you guys, C.J. Carr is a really, now, can he process? Can he play at that level? All the writing on the wall would tell you they'll have a quarterback battle. We saw what Angeli could do, but I'm just telling you, C.J. Carr is he's a put the franchise on your back kind of quarterback coming out of high school. He's a very, very special talent. It'll be a great battle with he and Angeli. It'll be fun to see how that plays out. Is Al Golden going to be there? There's rumors he's going back to Cincinnati to be their coordinator. So, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen over the next week or two. But as long as Marcus Freeman is wearing those pants, I don't know if he's going Viore. I don't know what he's got going there.
Lulu.
But he is it Lulu?
Yeah, it
Whatever
like
he's got,
Lulu.
he just looks and acts
maybe custom
the part. And parents want their kids. I know from being at St. X, it's a big school in Cincinnati, big Catholic school, and kids want to go and play for Marcus. He's catching 18-year-olds' attention. That roster is only going to get stronger. Now, it's maybe not as experienced, but it's only going to get stronger.
I've talked about this publicly a lot of times. I had 0 friends that were private school kids or Catholic school kids, like basically throughout my entire life. You, though, were a Catholic school kid.
Yeah.
Kids in Catholic schools, Notre Dame is
that was a real thing. Like when I was in high school, it was
not just football players. We're talking about like Catholic school kids across the country.
Everything, but specifically in football. When I was in high school, that's when Brady Quinn was there, and like Notre Dame was good and competing for national titles. And like, yeah, if you were a stud football player at like a St. X, like a big Catholic high school, like you wanted to go play at Notre Dame. And then that kind of did die out a little bit, I think, when they kind of had their ebbs and flows. But if it's coming back, like that's a massive deal.
Catholic school kids, though, high school kids want to go to Notre Dame. Goal is to go to Notre Dame,
without a doubt,
as college. Like
a lot of kids, yeah.
Okay, that is because it's like that's like a
pipeline. Real quick, just one last thing. At 31-7, if that ends up being 52-7, and they have that 2012 experience at Alabama, it was almost like I said, just
TCU.
Hey guys, you made it. See you later. But the fact that they made that, they made it competitive, and I think, obviously they wanted that confetti to come down and be the winner, but I don't think they hurt themselves by stepping in there against that team the way they were playing those last 4 weeks, and to be down 31-7 with an offense, by the way, they're not built to be down 31-7 and get back in it. And Greathouse starts making plays, and we saw Riley Leonard make plays with his legs, and he starts making plays with his arms. They got some momentum. Again, I don't think they hurt the brand in any way at all.
I agree. And Greathouse earned himself a lot of money. I don't know how much he's making, but these last couple games.
What a player.
He's been a guy. What a catch. What a throw by Riley, first of all.
What a throw, yeah.
Riley missed a couple last night. That was like what everybody said about Riley. He missed a couple. He overshot some. And it's like, this is what Riley Leonard is. But then he makes a couple throws, and you're like, this is what it could be, though. This is, like, I think a lot of people are.
It's all about his feet.
Yes.
These athletic guys that want to make plays, and they're so capable of making plays. If you watch him, and I'm sure Dan will break him down, but if you watch him and you watch his feet, sometimes those feet can get him in trouble. Sometimes it works for him, and other times, he's back there with his feet going, they're pointing over here, and then he sees a receiver break from his left to his right, and he doesn't have time to get his feet turned. Make a throw.
Brother, it's so obvious, too, isn't it? Isn't it like so obvious? They were saying this about Drake May, too, when he was coming out of college.
Yep.
It's like, hey, when we watch the guys that are good on Sundays, you see how all this shit, like even if they're extending plays, they're able to get their bot. This is a professional, and then this is what you are doing right now. We understand what you are trying to do. Hey, we get it. Like everybody wants to do that. But the guys that you see are doing that have their base, their platform is in place for that whole thing.
So that's why, and Aaron could talk to you for hours on this, but that's why I don't think it's necessarily his arm. And I thought last night he went through his progressions. I thought he was, a lot of times in his career, one progression out because he can rely on those legs. And I think that's the biggest challenge these guys who are dual guys in college, when they go up to the NFL, you can make plays. That's why people were missing it. When I talked to you guys last year about Jaden Daniels is a pocket quarterback that can get out and go. But you know what he does a good job of? He doesn't look primary and then go rely on his feet. He'll go first, second, third, then he's going. And that is a fine line between these college guys who want to rely on the feet. And I don't think it's his arm. I think it's his feet slowing down, his brain slowing down, but he's got arm talent. It's not that. It's the feet. And, boy, how much fun is Jaden Daniels to watch right now?
Hold on. Okay, on that note, AP Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, last year around this time, it was probably more about a month from now, around the Combine time, you told us on this show, hey, Jaden Daniels is going to be from the
Army Navy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was Army Navy last year.
Army Navy says before any of this.
Kept reiterating that it was going to be Jaden Daniels. Now, we watched Will Howard all play out. We did every single Ohio State game, and he looks really, really good. He's projected right now 3rd, 4th round. Do you think that he could be a guy that during this process is gonna jump up to a first-round guy?
Yeah, I think so. I think going to a school like Ohio State, dealing with the pressure that he dealt with, it's amazing. The one thing I love about the NFL is getting in here and a chance to talk to coordinators, talking to GMs, learning so much about, these agents telling players, hey, you know what, don't play in a bowl game, you're hurt. Meanwhile, these GMs, these coaches, they want to see a guy that plays through an ankle. That's like stock up. These guys are being told stock down. It's stock up when you do that. Watching quarterbacks have to go through adversity like Will Howard losing to Michigan, throwing 2 picks, not just losing, but throwing 2 picks that potentially cost you the game where he slid against Oregon. And then having these moments, man, his rating definitely went up because if nothing else, you've seen how he acts under fire. We could talk XOs all you want. He works with Jeff Christensen, the quarterback coach with Patrick Mahomes. He works with so many guys, and I know he would tell you that this guy is legit. I think he helped himself with this run, playing and dealing with the pressure at Ohio State. We all know how challenging that is, and I think he's got the physical ability to at the very least get a look, get into a camp, show what he can do, but. Kid did a hell of a job. And I will say this about Jaden Daniels real quick. Sorry to go bounce back to the NFL.
Don't worry about it.
It's funny. Cliff Kingsbury was thrown in the trash can, when he left Arizona. Yep. It was like, Cliff, this is the NFL. Get the hell out of here. And then he goes to USC as an analyst. And then he gets hired by DQ to be the OC. And I don't hear anybody ripping on KK. I mean, he is a beast. He's doing a great job. Give him a lot of credit. It's easy to point to Jaden Daniels, and we should. But that system that they put around him, the receivers that they have, the talent that they have to work with. But don't forget Cliff Kingsbury and the job that he's done this year with that team.
We watched Will Howard complete one to Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State wide receiver. Here's Terry McLaurin, Ohio State wide receiver, going absolutely bonkers. Cliff Kingsbury.
Emeka Egbuka is the next Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
Ooh. 202. Emeka Egbuka
broke the record last night.
He will be the guy like Terry McLaurin. Like even now when you talk about Ohio State receivers, everyone's like Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson and JSN and Marvin Harrison. People forget about Terry and what he did. It reminds me so much of Emeka Egbuka. It's like he's always the other guy. Always the other guy on Ohio State's own roster, Marvin Harrison. Now the rookie, I'm telling you right now, he is going to go to the NFL and be a stud. He will be a superstar. He's intelligent, competitive, warrior, not to mention uberly talented. Just be ready for that one. I gave you Jaden Daniels last year. Emeka Egbuka will be that guy next year.
Team guy, too. Team guy.
Yeah.
Like obviously
locker room guy.
Has been put in positions now to be a diva, into bitch, into whine, because he is exactly what you're saying. Hasn't done it at all. He's only helped in this entire thing. It's like
blocks his ass off.
Yeah.
Blocks his ass like he wants to block. Like what? Not only are you on the back burner to Marvin Harrison, now this rookie. Not only that, but you got a block on this play, and he's like, "I'll dig that safety out. Give him to me. Let me go." I mean,
I love that.
I love dudes like that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's good football. That's what that is. There's Jeremiah Smith guy though. I mean, it is absolutely absurd. Let's move out of Ohio State chat though. Let's go into the NFL. D-Butch has a question for you.
Yeah, Kirk, you mentioned talking to these coordinators and coaches, and the hottest name, the belle of the ball in this cycle was Ben Johnson, and he decided to go to Chicago. Coach Caleb Williams, that be his quarterback, that be his team. What's your thoughts on that marriage and how it's going to work and how he's going to get the Bears to that next step?
I think Caleb was put in an obvious tough situation this year with everything going on with the coaching staff, with the team. He sometimes, the way he talks with the media. I know sometimes I think people kind of their eyebrows raise a bit. There's another guy that it's never about his talent. Ben Johnson, to me, is in an interesting spot. And, Foxy, I'd love to hear your take on this. I heard you guys talking about it a little bit. He just left an organization that we have all looked at, kind of like we're talking about Marcus Freeman. We have all looked at Dan Campbell and just talked about biting kneecaps off and the energy that he brings. That is not who Ben Johnson is. So he's got to take what he's learned in Detroit. He's got to take what he's learned in Detroit, and then he's got to go to Chicago, obviously with his offensive system. But being a head coach isn't just about that offensive system. It's about standing in front of the entire room and sending a message every single day. And there's some guys that can do that. There's some guys that are just great coordinators that just can't be a head coach, no matter what they try. And I'm excited to see. We know what he can do with Caleb as far as the offense, the structure, the players. They got to get better around him. Got to get younger around him. The offensive line's got to get better. Obviously, that part's a given. But I'm talking about standing up in front of that team and not being Dan Campbell, being himself, but taking some of that Dan Campbell and some of that culture that's worked so well in Detroit, but making it your own. I think that's the biggest challenge. And an organization that is just cannot get out of their own way. What can he do to change that? We know you draw up plays. We got it. We know you're going to do a great job with Caleb. But what are you going to do to make this franchise start believing that we're going to start winning games?
Yeah.
That's the great challenge to me for him.
Not only the absence of MCDC, but also the way MCDC, Holmes, and Sheila Ford Hamp built that team through the offensive line.
Exactly.
Penei Sewell was the first draft pick, right, that they had?
Yep.
And then they have, obviously, Ragnow's the guy.
First rounder.
Then they go the other, like
Decker, first rounder. Zeitler, first rounder. That's 4 first rounders on the offensive line. That took so many years to build that, and that's where Ben Johnson's got to start, I believe.
Yeah, so that's a whole different foundation of a team that, like you say, he's going to do well with Caleb. We assume, but if Caleb doesn't have time to do any of the Jared Goff, that offense doesn't, Exactly. That's when Goff doesn't look good.
Real quick on Caleb. One thing on Caleb. Caleb, just his natural maturity. Another guy in middle school and high school and even college, best player on the field, can make a play at any moment that he has to. And they're like Mahomes. There are moments, look at Mahomes, 5, 6, 7, depending on the game. 7 or 8 times he's going to do a Patrick Mahomes play where Romo does a highlight on, looks like a shortstop or it's a no look. That's
diving
great.
forward.
But you know what what Mahomes does? He hits a single. He takes a layup. Like he never misses a layup. Like that's where Mahomes has got to get. It's not, holy shit, did you see that throw? It's not that. It's don't feel like you have to do that. Just hit the 10-yard out. Check it down. Scramble and get a first down for 5 yards on 3rd and 4. Like, be that guy. Be consistent with the boring crap. And then sprinkle in being a Superman. But don't feel like you got to be Superman every single play. So if he can get to that point, be patient, trust the guys around him, don't feel like he has to be a hero. That dude, freakish talent.
Yeah.
Freakish.
Yeah, we can't wait to watch and see what Ben Johnson does, and hopefully he does get a little bit of the MCDC culture. We're running up against a hard out. We appreciate your time. Peter with you? I think I heard Peter in the background a little bit.
Yeah, he's somewhere. He's been running around here. Let me see.
What?
Oh, here he is.
Hey, good season, Pete.
Great work.
Good work this season, Pete. Good work down there, Peter. You did great. He's a strong, strapping lad, that Peter. Mm-hmm. Good tongue on that dog.
Good pup.
Big old
Good tongue on that dog.
He's got big tongue. He's got,
What's that?
He's a strong, big dude.
Hey, watch it. We're not getting into that.
He's got a lot of big things, doesn't he?
Peter deserves some respect. We don't need to be talking about him like he's an OnlyFans model. Anyway, Peter, way to go, Bob. Great season. Herbie, to you and yours, we appreciate the hell out of you, man. Enjoy yourself.
Love you guys, man. Love you boys.
We love you too.
Have a great rest of the season with the NFL, and we'll talk soon.
Great season out of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah.
Long year for Kirk.
Yeah, truly.
A lot. And his kid gets offered a scholarship to Michigan, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does get offered a scholarship to Ohio State. It's like, what's he supposed to do? Well, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. Hour 2 on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. You never know what they're going through. There is a crowd of about 30 people moving through the back end of the business field here. And in the middle of it is this black Samoan man who has become the most famous human on earth.
Great guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's thousands and thousands of people skipping class to come see your big ass.
Listen, there is thousands and thousands of you skipping class. It doesn't matter if they go to class.
Moana is one of the best animated films of all time. Okay? Can't wait for the live action.
Thank you, yes.
But
You're welcome.
We talk about Moana.
What can I say except you're welcome?
And we talk about mana.
Honestly, listen, kid, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I couldn't have buried its guts. Sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What is the takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the temperature here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been to make everything happen. Look at the me menu Maui just tickety-tapping. That's it.
Still got it.
On the Samoan side, Polynesian side, we have a word called mana. Mana is spirit. Mana is power. Mana comes from in here. It's the thing that gives you goosebumps. It's that thing you feel. It's that thing when I walked out and we felt this thing. This is mana. This is mana. It's very, very, very real, and you could feel it. Mwah. Little things like I don't get driven anywhere. I don't want to get driven anywhere. I don't like chauffeurs. Keeps me in my way just a little grounded. Like I could drive myself everywhere and not telling some guy, hey, take me here, take me there.
That is something I'm going to start saying, like, yeah. Because when they open your door, you feel so bad. I can open my own door, dude. They're trying to be courteous. It's their job. But also, the day I stop opening my own door is the day I become a big old bitch.
Here we go.
That's a big cup.
Sorry, Mike. And here's the iconic sound. You guys know it. This special Terramana toast goes out to Passion. Congratulations on your show. Very proud of you. Very proud of all you boys. And to all of you, love you guys. Thank you for the support. Keep kicking ass. Cheers. In my world, when I sit down and we're talking about movies and all this other shit, it's never this. It's never this, back with the boys, and you. So I appreciate it, and this one's to you. Thank you, boys.
See you, pal. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers. All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break here.
Oh, hold on, one more. If you smell what?
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football is wonderful. We're so lucky that we get to talk about it every single day. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. It's the dumbest thing of all time, just like what we got to do last night as we stood on the sidelines of the national championship as the Ohio State Buckeyes became national champions. Congrats to them. Congrats to Notre Dame on a phenomenal year. And also, thank you to college football for entertaining us all the way since the time back in Dublin that was had. Hup, 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 hup. If you are thinking about traveling to Europe, we would recommend Dublin, Ireland as a place to head to. And just, you know what you get into. Okay, that's how we went. I assume there is a golfing vacation you can go on there.
Castles.
You can go visit some castles. You can do those things. We went right in the middle of the town. And went right to a pub and just went to another one. And then went to another smaller one.
Yeah.
And then
Another one.
And that's what we did. We decided to drink their marvelous nectar.
So good.
Of Guinness with their locals. And felt like they all wanted to do the same thing. So we can't wait to get back.
Amen.
To Ireland, but that's when the season started. It ended last night in Atlanta. The Ohio State Buckeyes obviously standing on top of the mountain until next season is kicked off. Can't wait for that. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Sweet merch.
Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, I figure I'd mark out. You know, yesterday it has a date on it. Pretty big day yesterday. You know, my heart goes out to all the Notre Dame people that lost yesterday, of course, as well. But it was awesome going down there. Every year it feels like it's kind of just a good wrap on the college football season. We were not able to drink 10 to 15 beers with Greg McElroy, unfortunately.
Yeah, real bummer.
Bummed out about. But
did you guys see Greg?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
He was pissed.
That was the first thing he said. Where were you guys at last night? So I'm down there drinking by myself. I was waiting for you guys. Kept looking up. Never saw you.
Wow. Where we didn't go early enough, I guess.
We got there on Sunday morning. Yeah.
So
Greg was there Saturday night.
I don't think I remember us going that early, I guess, for the national championship. That in LA, we went a couple of days early.
Yeah, that was only because we went to the Cotton Bowl before and then flew to Pasadena on like a Saturday or whatever it was. So
because we missed all the festivities for the national championship.
We did.
They all happened before we got there. We got there on Sunday. I thought we were getting there early. Us landing there Sunday morning, I'm like, look at us.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting into town early. We missed everything. I guess we missed all we could have went to the aquarium.
Exactly.
Could have.
In the middle of that Bills-Ravens game.
Right.
Which wasn't really an event. It was one of those.
That was Talk's
like
death
anybody
wish, too.
Yeah. Well, Talk wanted to jump in with the Sharks, which was certainly a potential reason why we would have went and done that. But Bills-Ravens, too good of a game. Maybe maybe next year we'll think about trying to get there early enough for all the events because it feels like everybody did celebrate the year.
Yeah.
In a big way. And we didn't really get a chance to celebrate it at all.
Well, we celebrated in our own way.
Yeah, in that meeting room right next to the...
Pete Thamel lost his voice. He partied so hard.
That's what I'm saying. Pete Thamel was celebrating the year. We didn't even get it up.
Oh, next
TIP's out there. We didn't even get a chance to enjoy any of it.
Next year's Miami, and we got 2 restaurants we know we got to go to.
Well, I don't know if they're still going to let us in there because both of them tried to open the kitchen up for us, and we decided not to go.
Sitting reservations.
That was not our fault.
That was our fault. The situation changed. There was a storm. It was cold. It was raining. We had to fly over the Gulf of America.
Yeah. So what do you want from us?
Golf for what?
You heard
the GOA.
9-year NFL veteran Derek J. Buller. It's down there, Texas, Louisiana.
Right to the left of Florida?
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah. Gulf of America.
Alabama, I think, even touches it a little bit.
Listen, you can have your oil spills in the Gulf of Mexico. Don't you even think about doing it in the Gulf of America.
Okay. Is that what it is? I'm excited for these days. We're in a wild time to be alive.
Yes, we are.
Seems like a lot's happening. Theo Von C couldn't even stay together.
Bingo.
Yeah, that was gimmick and scene, but still.
Yeah, he said the Paul brothers thought it would be funny, which classic Paul.
Zuck's got a lazy eye.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see his eyes were. I think he was dozing in and out, just like when Elon's eyes were going up and around.
What's that guy
in his arms?
I think he was throwing his love.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He ripped his heart out of his chest and threw it to the crowd.
Yes, he did.
With Zuck's a boob guy, but with Elon, that's actually what.
Well, that's not what we were saying. Their eyes, because they're billionaires, just kind of go in places. You weren't saying it. You're saying he did that on purpose.
Elon, I think, he's got some zaniness to him. Isn't really sure what his body's doing at all times.
I mean, it looks very similar.
I hope he does.
Yeah, I mean, that looked.
at all times.
I opened my phone first time, long time. We were in the middle of a show, obviously, so I didn't get a chance to see all the festivities that were happening up there in D.C. Seemed like a lot was happening up there.
A
lot happened up there. Okay, so I open my phone. First thing I see is him throwing his heart out to the people in a very interesting way. That's the first thing I see. I go, what the. What just happened? I think he did it 3 times, actually. One this way, one that way, one the other way. It's like, we all know, right? You're much smarter than I am. Yeah. I'm not the smartest person, but he was just throwing his heart out, he said.
Yeah. And
throwing his heart out.
Zuck, unfortunately, is... he's seen it in VR, but he's looked left and he said,
holy shit, we got fixed meta.
Look at those boobs. That's what I thought, but I'm not sure.
So we weren't there.
No,
we have not talked to Zuck.
Just seen the videos, and that's my inference and my speculation.
Joining us now is a man who had his birthday party a few years back in D.C.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, he was down in Atlanta and watched his school, a university that has a tree dedicated to him on it, win the national championship and be at the top of the mountain once again. Ladies and gentlemen, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah.
Hawker, these billionaires' eyes just kind of go all over the place. I think that's what we're learning. But what we did learn is the Ohio's arms.
Yeah. The arms thing was a bit worrisome, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I opened my phone, I was like, "Oh, AI's trying to get him. AI's they're trying to kill this man." That's what I thought. And then, no, that was the video. He said he's throwing his heart out. Mm-hmm. And how else can you go from your heart, I guess? Well, like, he could have took that thing around.
Yeah, a couple other ways. Yeah, he could throw it like a baseball.
He's not a baseball guy.
What if he would have taken it out, flipped the hips, sidearm that thing over the first?
He's more of a cricket guy from South Africa.
Well, then he should have. What if he did do a full-on?
That would be much better.
Would have been better. Yeah.
He should have.
Really, anything would have been better.
Yeah. The throwing option that he chose.
Yeah, it's tough.
Not great.
Yeah, he could have done a two-hander,
Chest pass?
You don't have to backhand. You don't have to backhand your heart to everybody.
Double?
Oh, you think he goes?
I think he could have.
Yeah.
Hey, kind of like a Y in the YMCA.
Oh, yeah, because I seen
Yeah, they were
the
there.
whole crew.
People,
Is that the same band from back in the day?
That's it, right?
I mean, Bush stole the show. I don't know what we're talking.
He's on at least 100 milligrams.
Yeah,
George Dubs. Holy shit, I'm in my own world right now.
Wait, where am I?
And then he hits a moment of, no, there's a lot of people here. Tighten up. We've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there. Wow. This is a good time.
Pretty cool.
Oh, shit, there's probably cameras on me. We're happy. We're smiling. We're looking around. You know, oh, my God, I'm hilarious.
Yeah, I need a beer.
Is anybody else thinking what I'm thinking?
All right.
Holy shit.
You going to Applebee's after this?
Oh, what a moment. Lady next to him, obviously, not a topic of discussion at all and everything.
Nope.
All right. Hey, congrats, everybody in D.C. Sound like it went off well.
Yeah.
Billy Ray Cyrus stole the show.
Hey, he's Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
He's still doing it.
Is that what Billy Ray's doing? That was awesome to see.
I didn't hear what he performed. I just saw it kind of went over like a lead balloon.
Was there any real American beer around there or what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Was there ever?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. You were getting out of that place unless you drank at least a six or a real American
That
beer.
was a fun little thing because we were so busy all day to kind of catch up with everything that had happened was, you know. So by the time I got to see it all, it was after the national championship as we were traveling home. And then whenever I get home at night and I can't sleep because of everything that happened, I'm just staring at the ceiling. It's like I'm scrolling through. So all the things that have gone very big are just one after another. And I'm watching this thinking, Jesus Christ, the inauguration was quite a gathering.
Oh, yeah.
And is Barron Trump 8 feet tall?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That video
He is like 6'6" at least, right?
Does he got a, you know, we asked Scott Van Pelt.
Yeah.
Does Barron got a little
I wonder if he could. You think he could back SVP down and dunk on him?
SVP said he can still dunk. You believe that?
Yep.
I do. I believe it.
Drop step.
At what point in his life do you think he was just yamming on everybody, though? Because he said it would be an ugly dunk now, but back in the day. And did you see those two people? Scott Van Pelt, thank you for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
SVP.
And then doing the show afterwards. He's a worker. He had a great college football season. And Stanford Steve, the auto guy, he's awesome. To all the people at Game Day, obviously, thank you. Last night was fun, though, man. Like, it was crazy that the whole world wasn't paying attention to just college football yesterday because of how many things were going on. But that national championship obviously should have been hyped through the roof. The ticket prices were through the roof, and then the game lived up to expectation. We're now one sleep removed for you, a man who was getting emotional on the sideline as it was all taking place, as emotional as a human that is built like A.J. Hawk is built can possibly be. And obviously your first reaction to deflect anything was, we got to think about next year. Yeah, that was your first reaction. But now that you got a chance to sleep out, talk to the kids. I assume you talked to the wife. Obviously you're back in Ohio around the people. How's it feel knowing that the Buckeyes are once again kings of college ball? That has to be great over there in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I mean, that is the standard in Ohio for Ohio State is national championships. That's the biggest. You know, that's how you kind of rank yourself, or I guess compare eras of Ohio State football. And the fact that they were able to do this, especially with, we talked about on the way home, like you got to win 4 huge games to win the national championship. Now with this 12-team playoff, like it's an absolute slog of the end of your season after you go through a long, rigorous regular season. So the fact they're able to do this it was awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I was obviously very happy for Ryan Day, his family, everyone else around him. Hopefully they can enjoy this thing for a few days before you really have to get back on the grind. But we know they're probably calling recruits in the locker room afterwards.
Ryan Day had a moment in the locker room where he said, we're national, and they did the right here, and they go, that moment right there, is that the weight of the world getting lifted off of that guy's kind of back and shoulders that have been looming over top of him? Because Urban won. Tress won. Yep. What's this guy done? That's literally what he said. Third all-time leader in winning percentage as a coach, with at least 70 games coached or something like that. I forget this. A lot of games or whatever it is. And it's like he was never able to be happy, like in the state of Ohio, because he hadn't done it yet. Can't be happy. Your family is obviously going to have to live this ride with you every single day. And then they get the job done for the state of Ohio. It's like that had to be set. I don't want to say a relief, but a relief for Ryan Day in that moment. It is. In his whole family. Definitely, right? I don't want to overstate this, and I don't want Ryan Day to think we're talking as if he's the one complaining, because I do not have that type of relationship with him. I'm just saying from outside looking in, knowing the situation pretty good. I said this on game day. I'm from Pittsburgh. I went to school at West Virginia. Now I'm in Indiana, okay? I have Ohio and I have had a relationship basically my entire life. College, a lot of Ohio guys. My holder was an Ohio guy. It's like I feel like I understand the Ohio people a little bit. I have a lot of respect for the Ohio people. But I also understand that if the Ohio people don't care for you, they don't care for you. Like that is just like, that's not a group of, just like Yinzers. Just like massholes.
Yep.
It's not like a group that is just like very forgiving. And if they're done with you, it's like, thanks for coming. Let's get another one in here that could do this. And it felt like Ryan Day was inching towards that. Not saying he was at that point, but certainly inching towards that seemingly every single season that he was there. Win, 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 win. Can't be happy though. Why not? Well, you didn't win a game. Have you won the Big Ten, by the way? You haven't even won have you won the national? You haven't won. Shut up. Actually, you beat Illinois. Way to go. Yeah, Indiana's good this year. That was a good win. All right, let's see. Have you won anything else? Then he wins the national championship. It's like all those things at least are quieted for at least a year, you would think, for his life. And it's like that. I think that's why everybody's so happy for him. It's like, brother, you're allowed to be happy. And with the success that you've had now for the first time long. Not that isn't everywhere, that there's high expectations, but definitely in the state of Ohio, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, we know, like, all the big-time, like, blue blood programs out there, like, you're expected to compete for national titles every single year, and Ohio State is no different when it comes to that. But, yeah, I mean, like, just look at the roller coaster of a season that they have had, and you think about all the work you put into it, both these teams getting to where you're at, to actually find a way to get it done when it truly matters, and for your guys to play best when the lights are brightest, as they say, like in all these huge games. Like, they hit the ground running with that Tennessee game in the first playoff game. We were there, and it was there's a different feel about the team, I think, once the playoffs started. And they, like Kirk said earlier, Kirk's a big team guy. I think you saw that. You saw that from both these teams, though, Notre Dame and Ohio State. Like, these dudes, in an era when it is like you get recognized, you get rewarded for being an individual sometimes, like both these teams felt like, hey, they love each other, they're a team, and they wanted to do this thing together. And no one was like, didn't feel like there was any selfishness either. Like, they all just figured it out, and they loved playing. And it was fun watching them. Like, it was fun watching both these teams play. But I just, like I said before, like I'm kind of like a football defensive nerd when I watch these dudes play. Like, how they tackle, how physical they are, how disciplined they are. It's just awesome. It's a thing of beauty to watch.
It was very good football. And you talk about that team thing. That was Judkins running all over the place. This is Jeremiah Smith. He's a freshman, true freshman. Has to play college football for 2 more years. Okay? So we appreciate him for everything he did this season. Can't wait to watch him for the next 2 years. With the Buckeyes, we assume obviously the Buckeyes will be able to keep up with any offer anywhere he goes. But you talk about Judkins, transfers in from Ole Miss. Travion Henderson's already there. Okay? And there was numerous times where Henderson was the hero. Henderson's the number one guy. Nobody was even talking about Judkins. Even on game day, I'd say, they got Henderson and Judkins, who's really good. And it would almost be like, yeah, Henderson though. Henderson's the guy. Because they want to talk about Jeremiah Smith. They want to talk about all the other stars. We're not talking about both running back. It's like, Judkins was a guy at Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah.
He is a guy in college ball, and you never heard him bitch, right? Never. When Henderson was a superstar for a game, never heard him. When he was the guy going, never heard Henderson talk about it. That's in their own room. It's like, they're all getting paid, okay? Massive respect for all of them. So they can say, my check clears, and people can certainly have that mindset, but ego gets in the way of that all the time. And it's like in that particular locker room, when everybody could have turned, they didn't. Well warranted for them to be national champions. And now they're already putting out, huge kick too by Jaden, who had a hell of a playoff. That kid, his kid's really good.
Yeah.
Big leg.
Look how thin he is. Yeah, I don't know how he hits the ball so far. It doesn't make a lot of sense. He's a good. This kid's a good kicker, and he's had some big kicks. 4 big games to win the national championship. And I guess the team that gets a bye will only have to do 3 or whatever. And if they do the reseeding, who will it be that gets the bye? And do you want the bye? I mean, there's a whole other conversation in there. But season was great, and a lot of clutch moments out of these boys.
It was great. But the run, like the 4-game run that AJ talked about when we were playing the video game, that's when I really realized, like, damn, it's a long ass season. What's their final record? 15-1 or 14-2? 2, like that, like that's damn near NFL season.
Yeah.
But like the run, all 2-score wins in the Final Four, beat the shit out of Tennessee, beat the dog shit out of Oregon. Then you go and beat Texas, in a big game where you end up winning by 2 scores in Notre Dame fights, but you put the foot on the neck and make the big play when you need it to. Like, it's one thing to put together a team, on a video game or on paper. But when you bring, you create that culture. The Captain Jacks and Simons and those guys of the world, and then you bring in the Caleb Downs, you bring in the Judkins, and those guys just fit right in. And then you put that product out there. The coaches, Chip Kelly coming in and kind of having to take a back seat almost. Being a coordinator, not being a head coach, a guy that's been a head coach in college and in the NFL, and you come in and dial it up like he's done. The assassin Jim Knowles, getting these guys on the same page. I mean, just everything you saw from this team, from the sideline, the pregame vibes, the postgames, you could tell they love each other, they play for each other, and obviously the talent is there as well.
Well, and you brought up depth before with the NIL. Like, that's the thing with Judkins and those guys is that they have these studs, backing up other guys or splitting time with other guys. And I feel like you saw that with Notre Dame being a huge problem. Like, they lost their best D tackle. Riley Moss. Yeah, there it is. And the dude who came in after him, probably a great player, but like he was 6'1". Like he didn't have the size.
There was a little meat.
Riley Mills is a big dude. Yeah.
There was a meat disparity, and the right guard for Ohio State, he was a backup. Not like that, D-Butt. Okay, not like that.
Continue. I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta grow up.
Get your head out of it.
You tired?
I gotta grow up.
A little tired?
Yeah, a little loopy.
But there was like a backup meat disparity. The right guard for Ohio State, he started the semifinal, I believe, but he was still a backup. But he was driving that dude back multiple times. And I feel like that is the big thing with NIL that's going to either change stuff or make that disparity even greater, because there is a chance that nothing really does change per our sources, and there's a chance that something does happen where maybe there is more of a level playing field. I don't know if it really matters in the end, because people are going to want to go play for Ryan Day.
More schools get a shot to shine.
Yeah, more chance and a lot more fun, but
starting with 12,
and you still count down to 1. So it might not matter. And it might, but it feels like the money was very well spent for Ohio State.
West Virginia is coming.
I hope so.
Yep.
Great period. You never know.
Arizona
Hope we don't
State
lose half your roster from those workouts in the winter.
Well, that is a little bit of a fear.
Yeah, those start yesterday?
Well, actually, no. You'll whittle down to who really wants to be there. That's what it does.
Yeah, but what about the guys that already got sign bonuses?
People joke, but legitimately, West Virginia. Think about the teams this year with IU and
SMU,
BYU, Arizona State. Vandy was supposed to win 2 games this year. Like, there was a ton of teams this year because of NIL, because of the transfer portal, who traditionally could not get guys in just from recruiting. They just weren't going to get it in recruiting and compete. But now they can, and it's awesome.
And it feels like SIG has reloaded down in Bloomington.
Yeah.
I assume Vandy's going to continue to be able to sell. Nashville is awesome.
Yeah, beautiful.
Especially if they have money, which they had to for Diego to go down there.
Stadium's, I think, finally done.
Okay, so they have a stadium. That's great news. They're down there in the SEC, and literally everybody thought the same exact thing about Vandy. Even people that went to Vandy were like, Nashville's great.
Yeah.
Like that in our baseball team, right?
Yeah, very great.
They're great. They're like a baseball school, but now they can be a football school. It's like, I know Rich Rodriguez feels very good about who he got out of the transfer portal. I think I'm going to learn more about that entire thing now because of my relationship with Coach Rod over there at West Virginia than ever. It's like who he's finding, because the transfer portal,
massive.
Huge.
There's a lot of people in there.
Last year they could put together an entire conference, right, with the players that were in
it was like over 1,500 or something. Like, there is a lot of players in there. So if you have an eye and can find your people, like, you can flip a team. Now you're going to have to do it again. But the good news is it feels like you're going to continue to have a massive pool to pull from. It's like finding your people is a big deal in the transfer portal, which is why Marcus Freeman, incredible job with Riley Leonard, scouted him, saw him. This is the guy that I want to be here. Same with Ryan Day and Chip Kelly with Will Howard. Or was Will Howard already there before Chip Kelly?
I don't know. I know Will Howard signed, January 4th of last year, they said. I don't know exactly when Chip signed on.
So he would have been here before Chip then, right?
Yes. Yeah, before.
Yeah, right before Chip.
Bill O.B. was the OC before he took the BC
Boston College job. And then Chip Kelly steps down from being a head coach at a school in the same conference. To go be an offense coordinator in Ohio. It's like, it was a wild year. Great decisions were made. You're going to have to do that if you want to continue to win. Let's talk about some decisions that were made or close to being made. Allegedly, not allegedly, Ben Johnson of the Chicago Bears, he's arrived. This is always going to be home, is what they say.
Oh, nice.
Congrats to him feeling at home. Kirk Herbstreit has some questions, just like all of us do. He can call great plays. Will he be able to do that in Chicago with the setup? Is he going to be able to build a team? Is he going to be able to lead a team? Is he going to be able to do everything that you need to do to have success? We're pulling for him. We're pulling for Caleb. We're pulling for Chicago. Okay, good luck to all you up there. Now let's go to the New York Jets organization. Allegedly, guy who played there, coached there, now has become an absolute megastar as defense coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Aaron Glenn is either in a second interview or in the middle of being hired to become the New York Jets' next head coach. He's been over there. He understands the building, knows whenever it was good. I assume Woody has great respect for him, which means Brick Johnson has great respect for him, which is Woody's kid, which is obviously a big deal. Aaron Glenn has been able to have success no matter how many injuries he's had. He's been a part of building a culture. The guy in the background right there, Kelvin Shepard with the flat bill on, former teammate of me and D-Butch, dog. Love everything about him. I think he's a linebackers coach up there in Detroit. I think you probably look for him to maybe be a next defense coordinator somewhere.
Hot name.
I have no idea where. But whenever the Colts hired Lou Anarumo, I thought there was a chance Kelvin Shepard was going to be coming back into the building because his name's around there. Former teammate of ours. Love Kelvin. Cannot say enough good things about Kelvin Shepard. Just a leader. I assume through hard. I've never seen him coach, obviously. I've only seen him coach in our locker room, to the young guys, to the room that he was in, to the defense. It's like I've never seen him actually coach other than Hard Knocks. He's awesome. I thought his name was going to be up. He's in the back there. Aaron Glenn, though, allegedly going to be the next head coach of the New York Jets. AJ, how do you feel about that? They had Saleh, defensive guy, as the head coach. Now they have another potential defensive coordinator going over there to be the head coach. Aaron Glenn knows the area, so that's a head start. What are your thoughts on AG going back to NY and /NJ?
I think it makes sense. I really do. When you think about it, I mean, the Jets, everything that we have heard is what goes on in the front office from the end of this season. It feels like they need some kind of stabilizing force in there. I think it always helps when you have a connection there. He played there. He was a great player in the league. Players absolutely respect the dude. And he seems to be a good mix of a great defensive mind, but also a dude that knows how to build culture, how to speak to a team, how to hold guys accountable. So I would imagine Aaron Glenn is very, very good in the interview process.
Yeah, I got a chance to tap him up whenever the Lions played against Colts. Remember, I was doing a sideline hit for NFL Game Day Morning. Came in through the Lions entrance tunnel. So I walked out either right before Dan Campbell walked out. So I got a chance to kind of see that. I walked out at the same time as Aaron Glenn. He came over, dabbed me up. I said, "Hey, you're doing a great job." Cool, man. Kelvin Shepard came over. Antoine Randall came and gave me he was a little bit too aggressive with the high five.
So he is.
I love
That's
Game
who
day.
he is.
Yeah, he's got good juice. We've never met before. I'm from Pittsburgh, obviously, so I'm appreciative of what he did for the Steel City. But he came out and gave me a full on, so it was like cool to see them. But Aaron Glenn, they show pictures of him on the sideline. He's just sitting on the bench, just chilling, just absolutely chilling. Then that defense with all the injuries, still bringing it. Biggest game of the year for the NFC #1 seed against the Minnesota Vikings. Blitzed more than any team in the entire NFL all season long. It's like, he's a dude. Like, Aaron Glenn is a leader, I think, of men. And I'm excited to see him if he gets the opportunity over there in New York.
Yeah, and then that becomes probably the most important offensive coordinator hire, right, so far in the cycle, just because they are either going to go with Aaron or we'll have to kind of start over with a young quarterback.
Hey, realistically, we all assume they're moving on from Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I wonder if because, they have to bring in a young guy and they're not sure what the OC is, like, wouldn't you want Aaron to come back? And
a little carryover, mentor?
Have a quarterback, kind of sit for a year no matter who you take.
Yeah, but you got to remember, like, a lot of these people, and I'm not saying the Jets operate differently because the owner and his son seemingly have their hands in the day-to-day operations.
Yeah.
But this is why people paint over walls and shit. Because, like, whenever people get a chance to lead a team, they've had a vision for how they want to lead this team. Like maybe Aaron fits into the vision. Maybe it is like veteran quarterback with a young quarterback behind it. And if you can get one of the Mount Rushmore players to be that quarterback, he's already on contract. It's like, that would be great. So maybe that is what a head coach is thinking that comes in there, or a GM that comes in there. But it's like, all these people have this vision of what a team is. And if you're not drafted or brought in by the people that are running the team, I was told immediately, there's no allegiance between us. We did not bring you in here. And it's like, you were in a corner office, okay, with no windows, okay, whenever I started here, kicking off a Super Bowl. So the way you're fucking talking to me right now, I think is really, really sideways. But that's the reality of the business.
Yeah.
Like, that is really what it is. So for Aaron, it seems difficult for me to see a situation where they're like, let's continue with this after how it went. I think Aaron said he'd be open to it, right? Open to anything. But in my eyes, just naturally thinking from what I've seen in my experiences, I mean, they kicked Bill Belichick out, painted over him. Yeah. And like, let's move along here. They cut Peyton Manning here, in Indianapolis. I think that has kind of made my my feelings the way it is. Like they cut Peyton Manning, they paint over the wall. I mean, that's like we want to go a different direction. Maybe they keep Aaron though. Maybe they keep Aaron because they want a veteran quarterback to teach a young guy, so you can get a young guy and kind of Patrick Mahomes behind Alex Smith, Jordan Love behind Aaron Rodgers, which is working out, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we're going to need to see a little bit more development next year. Obviously, going to need to take another step next year. But yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, Aaron behind Brett, but maybe that is the case. But for me, I feel like we're in an NFL where it's like people have a vision of what they want their team to be, and they are allowed. Sean Payton got the Russell Wilson deal and was like, I don't like it, I want out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're like, well, it's the biggest dead cap in history. I don't care. We will figure it out.
Make it work.
And it's like, from what reports were, he was trying to not make that work.
Right.
So that he could go potentially. We're not 100% sure. We're just saying, seemingly, with the lack of success that they had, some of it had to be on purpose. But it's like, I don't know. I guess there is a chance. But in my eyes, it's like, I think Aaron Rodgers could be maybe back in free agency, getting recruited.
Yeah, maybe he's going to be a hired gun somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There's a chance that that's going to take place. It's reality. I think in my eyes that's reality, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe he would want a fresh start as well, because obviously it's got to be mutual that he would want to come back and do that same thing. But I mean, that's the first thing you look at if you're taking a head coaching job. Like, who is the quarterback or what is the plan at quarterback? You got to figure that out. And obviously with Sean Payton, he had the Russ year. Figured that out pretty soon, it felt like, but it was a very good quarterback class coming up in that next year. We don't have that. They're not calling this a very strong quarterback class. So, of course, Aaron Glenn's, going to consider that. But, as a defense, like, he can connect with the guys. As a player, he did. As a coach, he did. I've seen some mic'd up with him. Great stuff. You just talked about the business of it, cutting Peyton, seeing these big names just cut. He had a story where he went into Parcells' office when he was a player. Like, I guess Parcells, there was some rumors about him wanting bigger corners, or he was going to trade him, so he just went in his office like, hey, you trade me. If you're going to trade me, trade me. Parcells was like, hey, it's a price on everybody's head. Like, it's a price on my wife's head. If somebody put the right price, she's out of here too. So he was like, nothing changed with their relationship. He respected them more. He took it. And that's like the nature of the business. So I think him being able to connect the guys on that level, you don't have the same concerns of, hey, can he stand in front of a room and demand that room that you may have the question you have with Ben Johnson. He's a great play caller and a coordinator, but can he control those rooms and command those rooms? We shall see with both of these guys. But Aaron Glenn, I think he'll be a good coach, but you got to figure out that quarterback position.
Jordan Travis of Florida State is in the Jets quarterback room, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And if we recall what he was in college,
right.
I mean, he was great. Got injured, obviously had to sit out. We talked to him in Dublin.
Yes.
Thanks to him for coming on the program.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was an awesome conversation, so much fun. Mm-hmm. So people really got a lot out of it.
Yeah. I know I did.
That's what people would say out of that. Right,
Oh,
Edge?
yeah. I was a viewer.
Tons.
Yeah, a lot. That was a really good one. That was one of the best ones.
Great.
But anyways, he's with the Jets right now. What does the rest of the quarterback room look like? And maybe he does go there because he has Aaron Rodgers too. Aaron Glenn, Hakmadi. He could be hired at a lot of different places.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is. It seems like, with the way Schefter was talking and the way everybody else was talking. So he chose the Jets, okay? So Ben Johnson's, allegedly, we don't know if it's going to get figured out, but seemingly it's going to get figured out. Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears. Aaron Glenn, Jets. Let's just say that's the case.
Sure.
Those are the only two, right? Top two.
Yeah.
That's what everybody said.
Yep.
Now we got Raiders.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys.
Yep.
Saints.
Yep.
Jaguars.
Yep.
Who's the next domino to fall?
I keep forgetting about Jacksonville.
Yeah, nobody does.
I do too.
Nobody really remembers the Jack. And they got a quarterback that they paid.
Yeah.
Is there.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Believer?
In Trevor Lawrence? Or?
Yep.
I mean, I don't think they're beating the Houston Texans anytime soon.
Oh, Houston Texans are so good. And the AFC South as a whole is just tough.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I disagree.
I mean,
completely. But
did you see
Have you heard?
that broke?
That's big news.
What's the news?
Have you heard?
Oh, Lou Anarumo?
Defense coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts.
I
yes.
did hear.
Another Paisan coming to the city. That's good news. Maybe we'll get another Italian restaurant.
Hopefully.
Another Fazoli's?
No.
Fazzolini's is already running
In our
wild,
dreams.
brother. No.
Amen.
We could use another one.
I'm sure there's a Fazzolini's popping up somewhere.
I hope so.
Pizza Hut?
But we need another Mama Carola's. We need another.
Buca de Beppo.
No.
Now
What
we're
was that?
talking.
Buca de
Buca de
Beppo.
Buca de Beppo.
That's a chain Italian restaurant.
Quality family restaurant.
You don't know Buca de Beppo?
Son of a
I do. I
bitch.
just wanted to hear it.
People love it.
I do love Buca de Beppo. I mean, Buca de Beppo is a great spot. OG, too, fantastic. Woo. Okay, Olive Garden. No bad. Fazolinis, listen, whenever you need it, you got it. It's there.
Yeah.
It is certainly
piping hot.
But it is nice. What's that?
Maggiano's.
Maggiano's is also a good spot.
We're heading in the right direction.
I love Maggiano's. But we're talking about like actual Italian places.
Buca de Beppo.
Like, okay.
I see what you're saying.
Not Buca de Beppo, strictly because Buca de Beppo is so good at marketing, they got too big.
Okay.
We're talking about something that isn't in every single city that you go to. We're talking about places that you can only find where Italians live. In Indiana, fun fact, no Italians live.
None.
Sure.
No. It's great.
What is it?
I was actually saying the complete opposite.
Oh.
I was saying we need more. Lou Anarumo coming out here is good news. We got more Italians coming out here, but it isn't about Lou Anarumo with the Colts. You know the story of the Indianapolis Colts right now is, AJ?
What's that?
Anthony Richardson's got it figured out. So,
whoa!
Just like Josh Allen put the lasers on
All right.
and learned how to complete a pass in the NFL, Anthony Richardson has hired the same exact mechanic, technological advancement operator coach.
Boom.
So that's what we got going on here in Indianapolis. Paisan's coming to town. Lou Anarumo, a lot of experience, a lot of weapons on that defensive side of the ball. I think pretty similar to Gus Bradley in his style, so don't know how that necessarily correlates. Hopefully it does with Lou. Maybe the message got a little dry with Gus. We're big Lou Anarumo fans around here.
Yeah.
Love Lou.
Huge.
Love Lou
Good guy.
Anarumo. Hope he does well. Great guy. Good conversations with us. This is a big story, though, here. This is a big story. Because if Anthony Richardson is able to take advantage of all the talent that his body currently has, Colts could potentially be a problem. Like, actually be a problem. And obviously, if you find out the laser stuff and you get the information, the biggest piece of that is the work that you have to put in on that. You know, it's like it's good to have the reservation, but can you hold the reservation?
That's key.
It's good to get the information. Can you activate it? And I think that's a good first step right there. Anthony Richardson saying, I need to learn, I want to get better, and I think he's going to dive in. Remember, they said whenever he got benched, it was a nice life lesson on things. He said it's come out that a lot of the OGs have come up and been like, hey, like, you got to be like a professional. So maybe he's just learning on the job. He's very young. He's got high ceiling. This is the first step. I think we're in a great spot with Anthony.
That's what we always say. You got to learn how to be a pro. You don't just wake up one day and be a pro. So you got to learn how to be a pro, and sometimes that's communities even outside of your locker room. And the punting, kicking game is the same way. You see tight end university, the pass rush summit. So reaching out and also reaching out to different things and figuring things out. So obviously the work has to go into it. Just like you're changing the jump shot, you got to be a gym rat. You're changing the golf swing, you got to work at it. So the same thing with this, and this is the comp with any big athletic quarterback with a big arm, maybe some accuracy issues. They're gonna say, hey, remember Josh Allen, his first 40 starts, whatever it is. Look what he's become now, an MVP caliber type player. So as a Colts fan, I'm hopeful, and I'm still optimistic.
Me too.
Big step, in my opinion.
I think it's a good piece of information.
No doubt.
It's not bad. It's not a bad thing.
Thank you. I'm pretty excited about it because he's here for the next 4 years.
If I was a fan of the Colts, I'd be pumped.
Yeah, I am. Because what Josh Allen was able – now, granted, the amount of work that goes in.
It's a big part.
That's a
lot of reps.
That's the thing. That muscle memory is created how? All by reps. Because then your muscle, guess what? It remembers.
It remembers.
So
are you sure you can't just wear it like under your pads and then like beeps when it's like?
You want an exoskeleton?
Yep. I would.
That's cheating.
Hey, if the Houston Astros are able to win a World Series with I'd take a Super Bowl in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Well, we need two before 2030, so
get on it.
Well, this is the first step to it.
I agree.
Lasers, brother. Lasers are coming in to save the day for the Indianapolis Colts. That's good news for all of our community.
Yeah, great news. And they have blue uniforms, so that doesn't hurt either. But again, when it comes down to it, is AR going to be able to stay healthy? Is he going to be able to stay on the field? True. That's another conversation. I think so. Because, this year, like, he was able to slide a little more. It felt like
I think he only missed, like...
He only tapped out once.
Yeah, he didn't really miss for injuries.
No, he did.
Oh, really?
Remember, end of the season, he had back that he's had since 8th grade.
Yeah.
Which I think everybody was just learning of.
Their season ended week 12
Back's
for me.
bad.
That's why. So I forgot about those last couple games.
No, we were still lurking.
Yeah,
they were lurking.
No, I know.
You were, but not really.
Oh, I don't want to hear it.
We were there until the last day, brother.
Yeah, I don't want to hear
lurk till the very end.
All right, the New Orleans Saints head coaching position is still open, and Alvin Kamara has spoke about it. He put out a tweet that says, my vote for head coach rhyme with Fizzy. I believe he's saying Darren Rizzi.
Okay.
Who was special teams coordinator for the New Orleans Saints for a long time. Then he became the interim head coach for the New Orleans Saints after Dennis Allen was fired. And I'll tell you what, he's a fiery lad.
Yeah.
He loves ball. He's been cutting his teeth in football for college, NFL, been there, done that. Was always himself. I don't think he changed one time.
No.
Not one time.
No.
First day on the job, he walks in, goes in the head coaching office, dumps all over the place, clogs the pipes, and then says, I got to go win a football game. And he did. And he absolutely did. He chewed out his punter whenever they went back to MetLife because he hit the ball to the wrong side of the field. So he expects a little bit of accountability, and he has high expectations for his team. Alvin Kamara's a pretty important guy. He got a deal. He got like a 3-year extension or whatever last season in the middle of all of this. So him talking about Rizzy that way, Riz got to feel good about this, first of all, about, okay, my message was hitting home. It wasn't just all bullshit. And New Orleans Saints ownership front office obviously has to read this and say, okay, Alvin Kamara has spoken on the situation. Big Mike McCarthy, maybe going down to New Orleans, right? Isn't that a name that's being circulated? Who else is being
Aaron Glenn was someone who they really talked about. I know the Jets are making a big-time push, but they said he was scheduled for a second interview with the Saints, but they got a really bad snowstorm, so they've had to cancel all in-person interviews until later this week. So that might be one of the reasons why he's interviewing with the Jets today. And the idea is like they don't want to let him out of the building; they want to try to hire him today.
That's a good leverage position for AG to be in. I hope he knows that he should. This deal should at least have a couple more M's on it, because there's a snowstorm that came through. I don't know if you saw LSU Tiger Mike.
Yeah.
He was in a sanctuary that they have built for him out there.
Sure.
Snow. This tiger's laying in snow out there.
Not good.
It's
winter, boy.
This is crazy how cold it is.
Very cold.
It was unbelievable how cold it was in Atlanta.
Did you see like Minnesota, North Dakota? The temperatures up there?
Negative 62, I heard.
What?
Is that real?
How do they measure that? I don't know how you measure the absence of temperature. I don't, but I appreciate that they do. But boy, I don't know how you go about getting that number. And how do you know the wind chill, especially when it gets like negative 20? Because whenever we landed here in Indianapolis this morning, the projected a couple of days ago was negative 24 whenever you land.
Yep.
Is what it's going to be. And it's like, how do they measure that?
It's like Antarctica.
Talk to Cantori. Cantori's got to know.
And then negative 62 is like, can you get the how far negative can you get?
I'd say you're dying if you're going out in negative 62.
Yeah, I don't know. What can
Thankfully, it's happening now and not.
And what can matter handle? I don't want to sound like too much like a scientist, but like, what can matter handle? Like, is negative 100? Yeah, what? I don't. Yeah, it's cold as shit. Atlanta was so cold.
I couldn't believe that. And there's like that little space where we were at where you walk out of the hotel and then you can still walk to like the stadium. And like you'd get like the little heat of like still being in the hotel and be like, oh, this isn't that bad. Beautiful. And then that wind would hit you in the face and it was like, okay, like it's 10 degrees out here. What the hell is going on? I thought it was supposed to be 65.
Those stadiums where that lady drove that golf cart right into the wall that was right in front of her, those are just wind tunnels.
Yeah.
They were just freezing cold back there. And obviously it's a jovial event until, what's that? Bang! Broken axle. Congrats, you won the national championship. Have you talked to anybody on that golf cart? Have you talked to AJ since the moment?
I have not spoken to anybody, but luckily it seems like they're all healthy. Like, Ryan Day's foot wasn't completely smashed against the wall.
I appreciate that she was just willing to go ahead and lift that thing up off the wall, back it up, and then she was just going to drive normal, and they were just going to stay in the golf cart with her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, they'll stay in here with me, no problem. Just crash this thing right into a wall. We'll just get them to. As soon as that happens, my first reaction, much like theirs, is, all right.
Yeah.
One of these types of things. Ryan Day, literally, that right foot.
Could have been bad.
I mean, that could have been real.
Oh, yeah.
How old's Ryan Day? 45?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, the bones don't make like they used to.
Oh, no, that's you're
45.
breaking every bone in your foot if that thing gets pinned up against
I've
the wall.
heard of stories like that. That's rule number 1 on the golf course. Never hang your leg out of the golf cart.
Yeah, but it's hard not to.
Yeah. I know. It's really fun.
It's hard not to do one of these right here. Like you're like kicking a skateboard.
Yep.
It's so much fun just letting it just kind of dangle. It just feels free.
It does.
It feels so free whenever you're doing that. Boom, like, just let this thing ride.
Thankfully, that trend ended.
Which one?
One where people just running over each other at golf carts.
Oh, yeah. The internet does some shitty things. That was one of them.
Bring that back.
No.
Those are so funny.
No. Those are not. Those are stupid.
I thought when that guy took a stand on the golf course, tried to fight everybody, took his tarp off.
Anytime there is a golf course fight, I enjoy it. I enjoy it whenever the groups, you hit into us, fuck you.
Yeah.
AQ Shipley used to tee balls up in the middle of the fairway and drive them
Hit them back.
Yep.
I love that move, actually.
Yeah, dude. We're golfing. We're sitting in our golf cart. Probably leg out. I got my leg out.
Sure.
He's probably got his leg out. We're waiting on somebody's on the green.
Having a pint.
Probably a couple, maybe. Music's playing. Good music.
Good vibes.
And then all of a sudden, golf cart gets hit. Okay? So then it's like, you turn around and do one of these. Hey, we're waiting. Then 2-3 holes later, ball runs by. Golf buddies are sitting in there. Just gets up, takes a ball, gets a tee, tees it up. I go, what are you doing? Goes to his bag.
That was a really good AQ walk, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in my head, I'm back on the course right now. Driver out, full on lineup, okay? Says hey to them, so they know. And then drives one right back. I mean,
that's awesome.
One of the purest drives I've ever seen. I'm like, we're fighting. Okay, we are fighting on a golf course.
No one's fighting Cush.
Who's pulling up to AQ trying to fight him once they see that giant?
0 balls got drove into us.
I was going to say, people know when they're doing that kind of stuff. Like, all right, we're definitely in the wrong here. It just you just can't be doing that on the golf course.
I have no idea where that ball went. Like, did that go over their heads? Did they buzz through? I have no idea, but it was certainly on the trajectory of it. And he was so happy. Puts the tee up. Like he put it on the fairway, sits back down. I don't even think he watched it land. It's like
he knows he's out.
Yeah,
he probably hit his rangefinder. Yep.
That was magic. That was one of the best moments on a golf course that I've had in some time. I mean, it came out of nowhere. Just having a good time, singing a song. Ball rolls by. Oh, maybe we'll cover it with grass or something.
Yeah,
he's running over. You got to run over and plug it.
Yeah, plug it, maybe something like that for sure. But AQ just getting another ball out, full tee, fucking driver back out, take the tail. I was. All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was not happy about it. It kind of ruined the rest of the round.
But it was a good moment.
It was good. We didn't get drove into the rest of the time. Other news happening around the NFL. The Philadelphia mayor, wasn't able to get the entirety. Here's the city and its mayor trying to rally an entire town and community to come together around the Philadelphia Eagles.
Let me hear you all say, E-L-G-S-E-S.
Oh, no.
Eagles!
Yeah, just every once in a while it's going to happen.
Let's go, Birds!
Let's go, Birds. We'll stick with that one.
Nailed that.
I mean, it's not easy, dude. Because A and L do sound similar. So like E, A, E, L, similar.
Sure.
Yeah.
Similar sounds if you're hearing a group doing it.
I suppose.
Yeah, but I think the Eagles are in a good spot. Although not everybody can spell it. I think the Eagles are in a great spot. I love the way that team plays. They even got a little slow-mo of Saquon Barkley out of NFL Films in this snow game. Anytime NFL Films has an opportunity to, showcase snow games. I mean, that's where I think back to Steve Sable in the frozen tundra with Green Bay. The added touch of the snow falling and the snow on the ground is a beautiful thing for our sport. And Saquon Barkley going to the crib while also, celebrating himself in a wide open field. This is why the NFL Films folks are like Scorsese.
Yeah.
It's like an 8K camera.
Yep.
The camera person has to have a perfect shot. Saquon's not moving out of the middle of frame here for the entirety of it all. And for this particular camera, you got to have good shot on it. And it's like great shot, great moment. Saquon's got to be pumped that he has this forever. We kind of all wish he would have done the slide through the snow
earlier,
but he did his thing and then a slide.
Yep.
So I respect that. I appreciate it. I like this Eagles team, I think. If you can run the ball, it's all you really need. Now, you already said that Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are going to beat the Eagles.
He did.
Yep.
Yeah, that was wild.
I said that. I said I could see them beating the Eagles. I didn't say that. I didn't pick them yet, but I said I could see this Commanders team beating them.
It felt like you did, though. Felt like you did. You did pick them.
Yeah, we'll see when we do the picks, but yeah.
I think I even saw a couple Johns on the internet say AJ always picks against us.
Yeah, he does.
You got something against Philadelphia, H? Is that what it is?
Oh, no. I have a lot of respect for this Philadelphia Eagles team. I think Sirianni has been people give him whatever they were going after him for whatever reason. I understand there's a high standard in Philly, but no, how can you not like this Eagles team with what their defense can do? And then watching Saquon, it's really fun to watch a running back break explosive runs because we don't see that a whole lot in the NFL. The defenses are too good.
We talk about the most important games you got to be able to run. Obviously, Ohio State last night is the epitome of that. They had 2 running backs that went over 1,000 yards on the season. Whenever the games matter most, you got to be able to run the rock. Philadelphia Eagles can definitely do that. The only thing that's been said is Jalen can't make the throws.
Can't spin it.
A.Q. Shipley said, number 1 offensive line left in the playoffs, Philadelphia Eagles. Let's rank the top 8. Eagles at 6 or 7. I think it was 6.
Yeah, 6.
And it was because Jalen can't do it. It's like, you don't think you can win with just a run game? You don't think you can win with just a rhino on the defensive line stopping the run? Can the Eagles win this entire thing?
Yes.
Absolutely, right?
Yes, wagging on both sides of the ball. And you talk about running the ball. Saquon, coming into the game, he's going to be a game record. I think he has 13 runs where he reached 20 miles plus per hour, twice as many as anybody else in the league. Like in finishing games, like this is in the first quarter, but multiple fourth quarter big runs where it's just a dagger in the heart of that defense. So yeah, that's the lead bell cow. You get the explosive plays in the run game a lot of the times, and I think Jalen Hurts kind of plays the game where it's like, hey, you take care of the football. He had a turnover issue for a little stretch there. You take care of the football and don't beat yourself. You depend on 2-6's offensive line and a great defense. And at some point, when you need to make big throws, you need to have a 2-minute drive. They have the talent, I think, at quarterback and wide receiver to get big drives done. So, I believe in this team. I'm a little concerned about special teams. Jake Elliott, we don't know what the elements will be this weekend at home, but a little concerned there. But Jaden Daniels, I can see him going there and making the game 6.5 points. I think it's a lot, but the Eagles definitely can win it all this year.
Yeah, you can't be missing extra points in these games.
No.
Run, stop the run, don't shoot yourselves in the foot. Jake Elliott missing 2 extra points, put them in a predicament for the rest of the game. They were able to win, though. Coach Sirianni, maybe not a big dumb dipshit.
Yeah, maybe not, But hey, everybody can keep calling him big dumb dipshit, thinking he's a big dumb dipshit. That's fine. That's fine.
He doesn't do anything, right? Everybody else, Coach. Vic Fangio, he does the defense. Kellen Moore does the offense. What does Sirianni actually do?
Doesn't call play. All he does is yell at fans. That's really all he does is turn around and yell at the Johns in the stands and worry about where he's going to get cheesesteak after a game.
That ain't what it's about.
No, it's not.
Eagles fans love Sirianni, just like Ryan Day at Ohio State. There were some people that maybe weren't all in on Ryan Day over in Ohio. He's going to have to win before I crown him. You know how some Ohio State fans probably felt for Ryan Day. Feels like Eagles fans have the same thought for Sirianni. They would win games, and on these particular overreaction tweets, which we will be reading on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and still TikTok Live. They were not happy with Sirianni.
No.
Nope.
If he wins, would he have won their trust over, you think?
I would think so. I mean, going to 2 Super Bowls in, 4 years, winning one of them? Come on. What are we talking about?
Very good.
They turned on Doug Peterson pretty quick.
And
it doesn't take long.
They got a statue of that guy.
Doug had a tough situation, too, though, where Nick Foles goes unconscious. Your kind of franchise guy that you pay that also kind of straps you with cash goes down. A little tougher, but
they were booing Sirianni at the end of the first half.
They don't get enough credit.
The whole team.
They don't get enough credit, and I know we definitely support him here. But what the Lions are going to have to do, replacing those coordinators, like Nick has had to do multiple times already in his tenure. They're bringing in Vic Fangio, who some people were out on, especially Dolph fans.
What you guys say?
It might be Fangio over.
Oh.
He got the boys rolling.
I remember that.
Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, who people were calling the bus halfway through the year. He's come along. Sweat, Cooper DeJean, rookie with Mitchell in the back. Like a lot of guys who you wouldn't expect coming in this year. Zach Bond being a damn near defensive player of the year this year. What they've been able to do on defense. And then Kellen Moore. He'll probably be a head coach again next year. Kelly Moore.
It's already locked in, Cowboys.
Cowboys?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what Pac-Man said.
that was.
Pac-Man also thought Ben Johnson was going to the Raiders.
Hey, you don't.
All these things could potentially be taking place, and then ownership comes in and goes, nah, that ain't. This is over.
Mm-hmm.
Was Ben Johnson ever going to the Raiders?
I don't think so.
I think just Brady, maybe.
Why would, I'm very confused on why.
I think Ben was going somewhere with a quarterback.
That was Schefter's big thing, too.
Oh, you don't like Aiden
When we
O'Connell?
talked to him last week, like everyone's saying Ben Johnson to the Raiders. Like, that is not a done deal.
Yeah, Schefter said that.
Friday?
Yeah, I think it was the last time he was on.
Also,
Monday,
Ben Johnson.
It was Monday.
Ben Johnson's getting 13 mil. Kevin O'Connell's getting 20.
No, that's nope.
If not, fucking trade him to the Dolphins.
Kevin O'Connell?
Please.
Yeah.
You guys got Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, he can be part of the deal.
What are you talking about?
If a first-time head coach is getting $13 million, there's no way Kevin O'Connell's not getting 20 on the last year of his contract.
In his own division, they announced that Ben Johnson's getting $13 million?
That's what came out yesterday.
Okay. Kevin O'Connell's about to get $20 million a year.
As it should.
And then Andy Reid's about to go renegotiate whatever his deal. Everybody's about to go to the renegotiating table if Ben Johnson just got $13 million. If the scale that Schefter told us the other day is accurate. Now, it's Tuesday, so I don't remember any of these, what days or what here. Did today feel like a Monday to you?
A little bit. Yeah, definitely.
National championship on Monday night. How do we feel about it?
Isn't that how they've kind of always done it? I mean, I like it. It's a standalone deal. I kind of like it.
Yeah, and people watch football on Monday nights. Monday Night Football is a thing. Feels like we got too extended here into the NFL playoffs, though. A little bit too long.
That's why you have to, because with how good those NFL games were too, like you can't put a college game anywhere in there.
So then they also said that the NFL and the CFP are going to work together to not have to have overlapping weekends like they did on the first round. And Roger Goodell said, you got to talk to God on this one, brother. If Christmas is on a Wednesday, we're going to have to do a Saturday game. That's just wait. Good news for you, it's on Thursday next year.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And there's no problem there. So we'll definitely work with you until Christmas on Wednesday. And then we're going to have to do Saturday, you see, because the amount of break that we need to give our players needs to remain the same, especially it's all our big-name players. So we'll work with you. Yeah. You got to work with the schedule, though. Who's that, the Romans? What's the
Yep, the Roman calendar.
The Roman calendar. You're going to have to work with the Romans, maybe, to get the calendar figured out. But until then, we're on your side here.
But they're talking, though. NFL, CFP. Okay, that's big.
Started with 2. Counting down to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's huge.
Hopefully they're on one side.
You can make week 0, week 1, but, man, how hot is it in the South in what? August 20th.
Make all Southern teams have to play a Northern team to start the season.
Bingo.
There it is.
Up north.
So you got to play up north.
It's bullshit. They already got to do it the first round.
It's also still.
But hey, win more games, then you don't have to.
Fair point.
Hey, by the way, the North kind of
dominated.
Belt to ass.
Won again.
I'm not saying that SEC football isn't special. It's an honor to get down there. But these Northern teams have a lot to say these days. They're getting awfully chirpy. And they got a lot of rings all of a sudden. We'll continue on YouTube, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and TikTok Live. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. I think we nailed it. Right on cue. All right, we got Will Howard at 2:20.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
2:20 Eastern. Let's take a break. On the other side, we'll do our overreactions.
Okay.
Then we will talk to Will Howard.
Nice.
Freshly crowned national champion who was on a golf cart that smoked the wall, that broke the axle immediately after they won last night. And also, what a magnificent run for that guy.
Yeah.
2:20, Will Howard will join us. Overreactions on the other side. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5. We're still bringing it.
I light every bridge I see here just to watch it burn. If you've seen all the hell I've seen, it make your stomach turn. I think you know why I do what I do when I do.
Started with 133 teams vying for one of these coveted 12 spots for this 12-team playoff. And it came down to 2 teams in the great state of Indiana kicking this entire thing off.
I try. I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot, counting down the good times, staring down the clock, throw some high.
The best year of college football that it's ever had is about to have the greatest playoff it's ever had. And it all starts right here in front of Touchdown Jesus and his beautiful Irish people. And I think if you say, go Irish! They'll do that all night. If you make this kick, I will double his kick to $500,000. I will also donate $250,000 to a charity of Chris Daly's choosing. Yeah, let it go.
Oh, God.
Not terrible. Not terrible. Proud of you. One kick, $750,000. The Lord is watching you. Oh! Man down. Man down.
time.
1 million! And there's a bunch of that have been made. There's a lot of them. We don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them. Okay! Google here!
But one thing you didn't learn from me is talking all the shit you talk.
Welcome to the most electrifying atmosphere in all of sport. I know European soccer fans are wild. That's like 30 to 60,000. You're about to see all weekend 100,000 plus bananas atmosphere, and that is one part of the reason why college ball is so damn great. Why are the girls here?
Just not a fun show? No serious show. Serious football. Alabama Jones is very serious.
You know, he was trying to be funny, which I get it. And, you know, my daughter Kristen loves him, so that's kind of soothed the soul a little bit that somebody in our family likes the guy.
I choose to believe. In front of touchdown, Jesus, and everybody looking down. IU gets a massive win over Notre Dame. Shane, I'm sorry.
You're a real scumbag. I thought Coach Cignetti coming out here was a real disgrace to the game. He left his players in the locker room to go get some camera time for himself. I know a legend like yourself would never do something like that. Would you?
No,
it's disgusting. I saw it. I thought, wow, what a sad, disgusting program. Notre Dame by 1 million. Go Irish.
Riley Leonard and the Irish from their own 2. Jeremiah Love breaks free. Jeremiah Love trying to go 98. Touchdown!
Might be fixing for a blowout here, fellas.
Couldn't wait to get to the wonderful state of OH! In the SEC, coming up to the Big Ten, when it's cold as hell, we shall settle the conversation here in beautiful Columbus. Coach, that hairline, you get a haircut every day?
Not every day. Not every day.
Big beard, big boot, Peters in tow, 500. Oh, this guy sucks. Holy hell, this guy's the worst we've ever seen. Just took out the Ohio State cheerleaders. $1 million here, JD level. Yep, this guy sucks at kicking butt. We appreciate the hell out of you, JD. He has once wiped 100 times.
What? Wiped what?
Yeah, 100 times. There are actually people out there, psychos obviously, that like the non-frosted Pop-Tarts. Gary's probably one of the best football players I've ever been around. Non-frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts.
I like non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
Non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
Now, I, at one point this year, was the mayor of Cocktown. You were the mayor? Mayor of Cocktown, yeah. They voted me in there, and this is my
How do you become the mayor of Cocktown?
You just got to go around and say, listen, I heart cock. I heart cocks. Sorry, numerous. Whenever we found out that there was going to be a college football playoff game in Columbus, Ohio, we were all jacked up to see this Ohio State faithful be showcased to the entire world about how much they love football. Then we walked out here to this game day set this morning, and it was like, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Rocky Top, Rocky Top. Well, in that song, they say it's home. Home for me is the North, and the cold is going to be Dahn. Give me the Ohio State Buckeyes representing for the Big Ten.
How cool was Sean Perkins, the Ohio State football team, for allowing us to hang out in their facility pretty much all day Saturday? They had 5 TVs set up, a bunch of recliners. Roosters supplied some phenomenal food.
Very Arctic temperatures. AJ Hawkins on 2 warmers. Gary's brother from South Florida. He's fucking in for it. You can check up on about first quarter, fourth quarter. It's all we want. It's all we It is. And Travion Henderson in the open field. Travion Henderson is scoring another ton for the Ohio State Buckeyes. The story of the game thus far is Chip Kelly is going mad dummy, bruh. All of Ohio is excited. They were singing long ice cold beer never broke my heart. Mercer
second read, third read, scramble, ball on the ground, check down,
Would hate to be a Tennessee fan or chair near Morgan Wallen because they have no hope right now.
Will Howard,
101.
check, Jeremiah Smith, touchdown!
By and large, these games have absolutely stunk, Pat.
Peter Herbstreit raising an absolute hell.
A couple people up here with that smoky orange face paint on that are feeling like real assholes right now.
As we look to the exits, and the Volunteers fans are saying, get my ass back to the South. This one's over. Bounces it. Puts it. Touchdown, Ohio State. Boys, that was wide ass open.
He's got left-handed.
500 drones. Ones that we know about. This game's over, but we're still bringing it.
Talked to you about it before the game. Texas 108th in red zone offense versus the number 2 red zone defense.
108th in the country and 130. It doesn't show up till it shows up. 4th and goal in the 4th quarter for the Texas Longhorns. Quinn Ewers, fresh off the 4th and 13. Jack Sawyer, give me that! Strip set from Jack. He scoops. He runs. Jack Sawyer, touchdown! Wow. JTT, Jack Sawyer, in this Buckeyes D. Put a punctuation mark on this Cotton Bowl. Montgomery's going horns down. Taft's trying to fight him. And the Ohio State Buckeyes have taken a 13-point lead because Jack Sawyer is an absolute problem. Welcome to Dublin Island on this Feel Good Friday, August 23rd, 2024. We are live from J.R. Mahin's. Drinks are on Pat McAfee tonight, fella. Let's go! Hop, 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 hop. The fact that anybody knows we exist in Ireland, we are so incredibly thankful. So to all of you, we say, Gotcha!
State. I just want Kirk to know I got 1,000 phone calls when we got in the playoffs. He didn't have anything to do with them not getting in the playoffs, and I didn't either. But we both got hammered.
Some of us did get hammered last night. We have real football happening today for the first time in months. This is a beautiful time in a wonderful town. It's fight night, baby! Davis is his name.
We gotta go for Georgia Tech. I gotta go.
He's taking.
I would be that back in the country if I didn't pick Georgia Tech.
44 yards away to do it. He got it! He got it! And the Yellow Jackets did it!
Hey.
Why?
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, UP! Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. And welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football is wonderful. We're lucky to talk about it every single day, especially the day after the national championship. That's A.J. Hawk, a representative of the Ohio State every single day. Now he can say, once again, the Buckeyes are national champs. National champion quarterback Will Howard will join us in about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Can't wait to catch up with him. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tony's here. 9-year NFL vet. The incredibly cool host of Everything DB. Good D, Bad D, Darius J. Buthers. And ladies and gentlemen, since we weren't able to do it yesterday because the national championship was taking place, we didn't feel like it was right. We might as well let the football weekend end, and then we'll put out a bird call to all football fans around the globe. Why don't you go ahead and utilize your tweet to air all your grievances. Let your thoughts out. Maybe celebrate. Maybe be bummed out. There's been hirings, obviously, around the NFL. There's been games won in the NFL. There's been organizations that have seemingly dug themselves deeper into a hole, and there's been other teams that have maybe catapulted themselves into relevancy. Mm-hmm. I want to hear from you. All you got to use is the hashtag. I don't want to overreact. But ended up getting to the number 3 overall trending topic on X in the United States. We can't thank everybody enough for participating. Ty, how were they there?
Pretty solid. Got a couple from the divisional round, a couple from national championship, and then a couple of the coaching ones as well. So, a nice little eclectic mix, which I enjoy.
I cannot wait to hear the fans' thoughts. Normally, these are very calm. This is from Boston Connor. Hashtag I don't want to overreact. But how the hell did we get to the point in the season where there are only 3 football games left? I'm bummed out about it. We need more ball, damn it. You're right, Con Man. We got to think about that every single snap as we go forward here. There's not a lot of football left, Connor.
No, not at all. And you got to take it in. And I think that's a big part about yesterday. Watching that game was every single snap, every single drive. It was kind of awesome. Like, oh, you know what? We don't have any more of these after this. We're going to take it all in. And for the people applying, saying, hey, we got the USFL, whatever the fuck league it's called.
It stinks. We don't like it.
That doesn't count. All right.
It's like the TGL.
Nobody said that, right?
I ain't watching it.
No, I'm watching it TGL tonight. I'm just saying they haven't figured it out yet. UFL hasn't figured it out yet. They will, though, because The Rock's big brain is on it. But we can't be relying on spring football to scratch our football itch.
No, not at all. Nothing does except for these games, damn it. Except for the National Football League, the college football playoff hunt. That's what it's all about. So I'm bummed out about it. But, it's just a nice reminder. Take it in this Sunday when it's 3 o'clock, 6:30, Championship Sunday. Because then, 2 weeks from then, it's all over.
Because every snap they take, and every play they
You know who redid that?
Every ball gets snapped, every bad mishap, we be watching it. Every snap.
Bingo.
H, gotta enjoy it all.
Who sings that?
Good for you to get some Diddy in there.
Sting.
No.
Yeah,
I know
Sting
the
and
original, but you were
Sting.
you weren't. I don't think. Did you know Sting originated that?
Yeah, I knew
Did that?
Sting was a part. That's that white guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, he-
the police. Yeah,
he
we're
has
not
sex for
talking
10
about
hours.
Faith Evans and the other guy. Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm
The
talking
other
about
guy?
Sting.
Who's the other guy?
What are you talking about? This guy. I'm talking-
Yeah. That's
No,
what
I'm talking about Sting.
That's why I said Sting.
So that
and
was
the
a
police.
remake?
Yes, it was a remake.
Sting and the police is the original.
All right.
Yeah, because Sting kind of creepy. You listen to those words,
For
actually.
sure.
We made a lot.
Let alone Diddy, actually, obviously, with everything going on in that allegation world, but I think matter of fact world. Court, when's that happen? That I don't know if we're all ready for it.
Never.
Yeah, we'll see if we'll get there.
I don't know if we're all. That's a good call, brother. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the orig, brother.
Okay. I'm glad
get
you
there.
are, because I stopped singing along halfway through. Once I was.
No, everyone knew
Sting.
we
Good
were
for you,
doing
D-Buck.
Sting
Good
one.
for you.
Yeah.
Hey,
you didn't
something,
hear the
something
drum?
stunk in there, and I didn't know what you were smelling.
This is us.
Dove
That's
Mencken.
that's that same can, right? That's the original can still.
Ridge can, still spraying, still bringing it. Still combating D.O. Sorry, still combating B.O. with this whole body D.O. Well, there's only one person that isn't going to battle against stank-ass, shitty smell. AJ.
I got him.
That's me.
Get him.
You got me?
Yeah. Yeah, we
I'll
are.
get some.
That's the thing about this. What we've learned here on this particular stage that maybe they weren't able to test out enough is you just someone go out in front of that. You can actually spray this shit on you. Like, let's say your hand is so upset about how bad you smell and doesn't want to be near you. It's all right. This thing can.
Yeah,
I mean, this thing's got some range, brother. I mean, this thing is. Whenever they say a radius or whatever is there, this thing's.
They'll get there.
There's a lot in here.
Oh yeah.
You could have someone with COVID near you, and who knows about the rules really? But you could probably hit them.
Social distance.
Either way with the social distance.
You could probably socially distance. Say, wow. You need this one, brother.
Gotcha.
I know it's not what it's meant for, but I feel like this could also cover up a stinky shite if you take one.
Oh, yeah. Back pocket, maybe going into an away game.
Exactly.
Taking a dump in public.
Right.
You sit down, you let one loose. Like somebody did in R3 of the production room bathroom.
You did say that.
R3 of the bathroom we had at the stadium. So there was a lot of stalls, which I appreciate. I like going in stalls, especially at this point in life because, people are a little weird with the cameras. I respect and appreciate the fact that people know who I am. That's a cool thing. When that stops, obviously this all stops. But when I'm pissing at a urinal, it's become uncomfortable.
Sure.
I don't love that moment. Selfie, a lot of selfie, which means hi. So it's like, all right, so my cock's on this guy. I don't like it.
Oh, shit.
So I go into stalls, so production office closest bathroom had a lot of stalls. I'm like, this is awesome. First one I go in, shite pile.
Of course.
Okay, automatic flusher too. So it's like you can't even.
Flusher couldn't even do it.
I was there for it. It was.
That thing is bad. So then we're shutting down. Whoa, shit. Okay. Second one locked. All right, good on you.
Yep.
Good on you. Third one, I walk in. Clean toilet, but somebody had been there. I mean, that thing was. I walked into a habitat of shite. I mean, it smelled so. Felt like I was eating it. I'm like, get me out of here.
Wasteland.
The door was.
I was so disgusted.
The doors went to the ground too. Those were nice.
Yeah, it was a good stall, but it was trapped in there. And I walked. I literally felt like the cloud of shit. I was like, like get me out of here. So then I went in the door 4, kept it open because this one had a lot of. There was a lot of runners.
Sure.
This thing had been destroyed a few times.
Yep.
So I just kept door open while doing the thing. I'm like, get me out of here. But it was a good setup, except for what had happened before I got in there. You saw the R1 stack?
I was.
That was unbelievable.
So I was in there because it was right before we were going over to do the show or whatever. You got to be prepared.
Yeah.
Because you never know where the bathroom is going to be when you go over to do the show on the road.
I missed actually part of the show yesterday because I was in there.
And then you walked in, and I heard you go into that one and go, oh.
Oh, you were in R2.
The one I was in I think the first one as soon as you walk in, man.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you were in there.
You did the mud stack?
No,
no. I was sitting down.
No, that's the other. Yeah, I mean, it was a good bathroom. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is as we. Hey, listen, if you got anybody who has some bad body odor, do them a favor and get them some Dove Men Care Whole Body DO. It smells delightful, and it does the trick. So you don't have to smell like ass in public. Thank you, Duff.
Thank you, Duff.
And thank you to this man, who his performance throughout the college football playoff has been nothing short of electrifying. The offense that he has led, obviously now to a national championship, is one that was a buzzsaw, that was must-see television. And we are incredibly lucky to watch it from the end zones, on the field, watching him do his thing. Ladies and gentlemen, transferred in from Kansas State after being the Big 12 Player of the Year, the Ohio State quarterback that just led the Buckeyes to their first national championship since 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, 6'4", 240-pound dog, Will Howard.
Yeah.
What's up, dude?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Hey, I'm fantastic. AJ almost got emotional last night on the sideline. The boys and I are a little bit tired. How are you doing, man? You woke up a national champion this morning. It was all worth it. Is that how you feel? Are you thinking back on the journey, or how has today been? Pretty surreal for you, I assume.
Unreal, man. Unreal. It still hasn't sunk in yet. Didn't get a ton of sleep last night. Just got back here to Columbus, and I'm looking forward to celebrating with the boys, but probably gonna have to take a nap before that.
Yeah, I imagine that's normal national championship quarterback stuff. Last night the boys had a good time, or what was last night like for everybody? Was it a hangout, storytelling? Was there a lot of hugging, reminiscing, boozing? What was last night like for the Ohio State Buckeyes?
Oh man, it was a lot of everything, man. A lot of good fellowship, getting together. Maybe a couple of adult beverages
What?
included in there.
Yeah.
And we had a great time, but it was already so late, so we kind of just hung out at the hotel and just kicked it, and then hopefully, we'll see what happens here in Columbus the next couple days here.
It's a magical moment that you guys earned, man. You earned it, and I don't want to look too far back, but it's a massive piece of the story of this Buckeyes team. After the Michigan game, the flag planting thing, and then the players-only meeting with Ryan Day, airing of grievances, and then since this playoff thing has started, your team has been like the epitome of what everybody loves about college football. Seemingly behind each other, very free, supportive, and playing your absolute best. Did it feel like that in the moment? Did you feel more free during the playoffs, you think? Why do you think your team played so great in the biggest moments for the last 4?
Yeah, I think having to go through that last week of the season, when, a lot of people were doubting us, I think there was maybe even some people in here that were, experiencing a little self-doubt. And, we had to come together and, we talked about, all we have is winning it all, and going out there and doing this thing. And doing it the right way. And we talked about going into the playoffs, especially playing a great team like Tennessee. We needed to.
Boys! Hey! What up, lads? What up, lads? Good to see you guys. Congratulations. Congratulations, boys. Congratulations. You blew out the speaker. We couldn't hear shit that you said.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah. Couldn't hear anything they said. They blew out the speaker. But once again, the lads were together. It was good to see them. Please tell them we said congratulations. But you talked about how all we have is to win it all. That's a lot of pressure you can put on yourself. You guys seemingly played very free. Very, very free in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we did it. It almost felt like in that first game, it felt like we were kind of playing really with nothing to lose. And we talked about, especially, going into that Tennessee game, we just need to get this first one, get some momentum. And, that was an unbelievable game. We played lights out really on both sides of the ball. And it gave us a lot of confidence going into that next Oregon game. And, the way that first Oregon game ended, it just didn't sit right with really any of us. And I knew that, if we played them on a neutral field, maybe some more Buckeye fans there. Like when we played there, dude, that was the loudest stadium I've ever played in. Like I played at Texas, Oklahoma, like no question, Oregon, 65,000. That was, I don't know if they were pumping crowd noise in.
No. It's Pacific Northwest, brother. They're loud. Oh, you're saying it sounded fake. It sounded. I was doing this one on the helmet going, what the fuck is going on out here? Yeah,
it was loud, man. It was loud, but no, it was just, we just picked up momentum and picked up confidence. And, we really felt like we were playing our best ball at the end of the year. And that's all that matters.
It was fun to watch. One of the fans for you guys that was riding alongside the entire thing, AJ, has a question for you, Will.
Yeah, Will, obviously, congrats on everything. It's amazing what you've done in your time in Ohio State. But could you take us through that 3rd and 11, that deep ball to Jeremiah Smith? He ran a beautiful route. I watched him stem inside and get some separation from that DB. But were you going to him the whole way? Like, what's the play call and what was your plan going into this?
Yeah, there was no question. I was throwing that thing forward. As soon as I got up to the line of scrimmage, we called it pretty much a max protection go balls on either side. And I saw that JJ had free access, off, inside leverage, and I knew it was unfair. That dude's going to go whoop him on the route, and he did a hell of a job with it. I almost think I maybe held him up with the ball a little bit. He probably walks in the end zone if I get a little further, but
No, you want to eat up more clock, brother. You played it right. You were playing heady. It was heady football in there. And D-Butch was going to ask this, but since it's already got brought up, it's like, what was the conversation? Because there was a timeout beforehand by Notre Dame. 3rd and 11. You guys had gotten pretty conservative. Run. Didn't know if you guys were just trying to eat timeouts. What was the conversation like whenever it was decided that we're running max protect, all goes here? Incompletion saves them a timeout, gives them the ball back. That's a massive decision. What was the conversation like, and what was your mentality when you heard that was the play call? That had to be very exciting that the team said, hey, we're putting this in your hands, brother, to win the game.
Yeah, I was fired up, man. I love having the ball in my hands, with the game on the line. And, I like, being in those moments, man. But really going into that play, Coach Day was talking about, just be smart. Don't force anything. We weren't sure if we were going to get any sort of, zone coverage, if they were going to, try and play for the pass. Obviously, the way we were running the ball, continuously, they thought the run was coming and they played for the run. They left our alien out on on one of their corners, and he did his thing.
Yeah, he certainly did. So did you. And are you not entertained? I've fallen in love with your moxie, the way you handle yourself. I assume this is how you've always been, but on the biggest stage, you have not changed at all. Even even a celebration. I mean, everything. You're one of the lads, which I think is like the coolest part about it, because you transferring in there, then the loss is happening. They could have easily turned on you, that team. And I think you guys could have turned on each other, especially with how much talent in there and how many potential egos are in there. Instead, you guys rallied around each other, and it was very evident. And I think that is huge for your leadership, which goes to AP Tone's question for you, Will.
Yeah, Will, when we were doing the alt-cast last night, we were kind of trying to guess your measurables, and we kind of settled on somewhere around 4'6", 4'7", with a 39-inch vertical, except for Darius said, he was kind of questioning.
I said
that.
mid-30s vert, but I did say 4'6", 40.
Are we somewhere close around that? And I root for a franchise, Pittsburgh Steelers. We kind of like quarterbacks that played in Ohio, big guys, 6'4", 6'5", 250. So if you're looking for a program to come to, we will take you.
Oh, he's just going to pick?
Yep.
That's how it works
now.
Okay,
That's how it works now.
Well, now to extend that question though. Your next, obviously, you haven't thought about the next step. You've been so focused on a college football playoff. Us watching you each week, I'm not a big scout for NFL football. That's not my thing. But we watch you, and I was very lucky to have a front row seat to the NFL as a punter for a long time. It's like, this is a Sunday guy. And then we start doing some research in what people are saying. They're not saying that at all. So then obviously the speed comes in because you run a lot more. I think you did at Kansas State than people give you credit for. Obviously you have a lot of weapons, but you're getting it to them. Do you feel like you've always been under-respected and appreciated or valued as a quarterback? Does that get to you? Do you think about it? I heard you have to answer a couple of these questions during media day, but we were very surprised to hear what people were saying about your NFL projections after watching you in person. And I assume that's all going to be bullshit anyways. You're going to move up quickly, especially after performance. But has it always been this way with you? And we're just kind of learning that now?
Yeah, I feel like, ever since really I came out of high school, I was a 3-star recruit, and I think the way that my career started off, I wasn't really a great player. My first 2 years at Kansas State, I didn't really turn it on until my junior year. So I think a lot of people made assumptions about me and, just assumed that I wasn't a good player. But really, I just wasn't myself yet. I wasn't really settled in. And, I feel like this year here at Ohio State, I've been completely myself, and you guys see it, me. I think I yelled at Boston Connor after one of the touchdowns.
It was awesome.
Screaming at him, dude. I'm like, just get fired up, man. I like being in the moment and having fun with my guys. And, we just have an unbelievable locker room here. And it's so easy to play for these guys and to want to do it for everyone in this building.
Yeah, but you're a great quarterback too, brother. Some of those throws are Sunday throw, Sunday throw, Sunday throw, Sunday throw.
Throws.
And then you're big as shit. You are much bigger than you would expect, I think, from watching on TV. And you can move. Now, the paint on the field does get you every once in a while.
Every once in a while,
the paint.
It does. It does. Hey, I was thinking just like you said earlier. I was taking some time off the clock for our defense.
Yeah, 100% clock management. That's smart stuff. But you're much more athletic than anybody gives you credit for.
Darius.
Guys, don't do this. All right, it's on wax. You know what I said? I've given Will plenty of credit.
You're right. But I think there's lack of it going around in a lot of conversations.
Yeah, for sure. And look, you made yourself a ton of money in this playoff run. Biggest stage, biggest moments, best teams. Your coach you've been working with, Chip Kelly. How's it been working with him? Obviously a guy who's been on the pro level and been calling plays for a long, long time. How's it been working with him, and how much did he help with your development as a quarterback?
Man, he helped me a ton. I think really the perspective that he has just on the game and really on life is different. He's a guy that's been around, man. He's done pretty much everything at every level, and he's seen a lot, he's done a lot. So he has a lot of perspective. And he's shared a lot of things with me just on the field, off the field, how to handle myself, how to, go about my business. And he's been an unbelievable mentor for me off the field. But then on the field, he and Coach Day and Billy Fessler and all those guys in that room, they've changed me into a completely different player. The fact that my completion percentage went up by almost over 10%. Like, that is 100% a credit to my coaches and them getting on me about taking completions and not forcing things down the field, but kind of letting the game come to me. And Chip's, he's said that since I got here, and I've tried to adapt to it, and it's been awesome for me.
You and Chip Kelly, both in your first years at Ohio State, win a national championship. But getting there, obviously, two different paths. Chip Kelly was a head coach in the same conference as Ohio State, said, I'm going to go be an OC over there instead of being the head coach of UCLA. And you, how'd you get to Ohio State? Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Will, when you're done at Kansas State and with like the new process of the transfer portal and everything, it was coming out like, hey, this guy is the quarterback everyone wants. There were early reports like, hey, Lincoln Riley really wants him. It looks like he might go to USC. Was it always Ohio State, or how difficult was that decision figuring out where you were gonna end up for your last year?
Yeah, I was, going into that last year, I was really expecting to hopefully, have a good year, build on the Big 12 championship year, and, hopefully go to the draft. But obviously coming out of the year, I didn't feel like my draft stock was where I felt like my talent level and, my potential was. So I felt like, if I could go somewhere and feel like I could give myself a chance to move up draft boards and to, turn myself into a better player and really just continue to elevate. I wanted to do that. And at first, it was really a bunch of people started reaching out, obviously, when I first entered. But, it really came down to probably Miami, USC, and here. And when I was looking at it, the two things I said I wanted to do was compete for a natty and, elevate my draft stock. And there was no place that came close to that in terms of, either of those things like Ohio State. And when it came down to it, it was really probably I was either going to go to the draft. I had a Senior Bowl invite. I was all teed up, ready to go to the draft, but this opportunity came up, and I just could not pass it up.
Yeah, well, I think everybody in the state of Ohio and every Buckeye around the world is incredibly pumped that you made that decision. Ryan Day, tell us about him a little bit. I know you've only been with him for a year, obviously. This is the biggest year of his career, certainly the biggest win that he's ever had at all of you over there. But life as an Ohio State head coach is something. AJ right over there, very passionate. That's why he was crying on the sideline last night. Kirk Herbstreit crying last night because of the amount of love that everybody has for the Buckeyes in that state. But those expectations are obviously not the easiest whenever things aren't going great. How has Ryan Day operated alongside you, and how have you two kind of gotten along throughout this season, which has had obviously the option to Dahn's all through it?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Day he's my guy, man, and he took a chance on me. I owe, basically my life to that guy, man. He's developed me so I've never been coached so hard. I mean, that guy got on me so much in spring ball. Like, I was like, man, I feel like I don't even know how to play this position. I felt like I was like, what the hell, man? Like, this is crazy. But no, I'm just, and AJ knows, but, being a player or a coach at Ohio State, man, you don't really understand it until you're in it. It's different, the expectations that come with it, the pressure, all the eyes that are on you. It's different, and if you don't experience it, if you don't go through it, you don't really get it. So we were able to go through that together this year. And I think we leaned on each other a little bit. I think, I was able to, lighten up some moods when I needed to, and go into the O staff room and crack some jokes, and vice versa, man. So like, I think we were able to, lean on each other a little bit this year, and the relationship that we have is amazing. And, I'll cherish that dude, for the rest of my life, man.
You talk about it being different over there. You're going to be forever remembered as a national champion in Ohio. That means you'll be able to sign pictures of that 3rd and 11th row for the rest of your life, no matter what happens. Let's say you forget how to play football, actually. You somehow walk into a tent or a teepee, ayahuasca gets your brain, you forget how to play football. Know that for the rest of your life, okay? You'll be able to go to Columbus, Ohio, and sign that picture forever. That's the beautiful thing about being a Buckeye, especially when you win. Another man that is currently doing that still for the rest of his life, AJ, has a question for you, Will.
Yeah, Will, first I want to check on your head coach's status, how his right foot might be, how you guys are doing. Do you have any whiplash? We saw the clip of the golf cart. It had to be a bit nerve-wracking for this poor lady, all these people filming her. What happened here, and
how far did you walk?
What was going on? We had an Austin Powers situation going on, it looks like.
Dude, that was so funny. So I felt so bad for the poor girl. She was like ripping through people on the field and just yelling, move, 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 honking at people. And then all of a sudden we get to this corner and she like almost gets close to the wall, and then she starts reversing, and then she put it back, in drive, and just crashed into the wall.
Yeah,
and we're like, none of us were like, I think I might have my head down at my phone. It was close. And Coach Day, I don't know what happened, but I think his neck like got like messed up. Man. Like I don't know if he's he looked like he was shaking up for a second, but I hope he's doing all right now.
How far did you have to walk after that? Because everybody made the same decision after she was like, let's get this thing back. I don't think so. Everybody kind of gets out of there, and obviously she's going to live and grow from this as well.
Yeah.
Physics and everything is going to certainly show up in life. But also she had eyes on the wall that she crashed into. I didn't know that she was such a beast on the field, though. Got places to go.
Yep.
Got people. Got very.
He was.
I respect that.
Goodness.
How far was the walk? How far was the walk to where you had to go?
It actually wasn't that far because we already made it to the other side of the stadium. So it was really only like probably 50 yards. So it wasn't like a big deal. But we made it work.
Yeah, you certainly did. And that axle's broken forever.
Correct.
Conman has a question for you, Will.
Yeah, Will, before the game, there was some conversation leading up to it about you and Riley being in that group text together from the QB camp. I was wondering, what kind of memes were they sending in to that text group with you two? And also, was there any conversation after the game with you and Riley? Did you get to talk to him? And what's that relationship like?
Yeah, man, Riley is a guy that I have the utmost respect for, and really, really, just truly think that he's an unbelievable guy, and the way that he portrays his faith too. Like, when I really first got to talk to him at the Manning camp, like, we didn't even really talk about ball at all. Like, we kind of just shot the bull and talked about life, and I just I really felt like we were kind of similar people, and I kind of understood him, and we had been on similar journeys, I felt like, so it was cool to feel like we, kind of finished it in a right way, where we were kind of both, in the forefront. And no, I was just, blessed to be able to, share the field with another guy who's just a God-fearing man and just a great dude.
We appreciate you glorifying Jesus Christ all through, both of you.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Reese Davis last night. Hell yeah. Hey. Amen.
Shout out.
Reese Davis said after the show, he said both these teams glorified Jesus Christ more than anybody else. I don't know if that's coincidence or not. You tell me. And it's like, well, certainly very much so. Both. That's why the Pope, there was a chance, I don't know if you heard about this, there was a chance on College Game Day, there was just rumblings, that the Pope was going to make a pick.
That would have been sweet.
And then the Pope heard about how many Catholics are in fucking Ohio. He was like, we don't need to turn down an entire state, brother. I don't need to be making a pitch against a state that is very religious. And God bless everybody. And thank you to Jesus Christ for everything. We obviously agree with that. And you and Riley Leonard obviously did battle last night. Will you both be in the Senior Bowl next week? And how are you going to approach this entire thing? Obviously, and we already mentioned this, it was a surprise to us how they were judging your NFL career. I think through this process, now granted, enjoy this national championship with the lads. Looks like there's a lot of juice as they come running in. Definitely do that. But this entire draft process, we think you're going to kill. Like, absolutely murder. Senior Bowl's first, that's next week. And then what do we have on the horizon? Have you already thought about this, or are you yet to figure this type of shit out?
Yeah, I was hoping we could get through this game and then worry about it after. But, in terms of the Senior Bowl, I'm still evaluating that. I ran the ball, I think, like 16 times last night, so my body's a little beat up. Gonna have to feel how my body's feeling and everything, and then go from there when it comes to that. But in the process, man, I'm just looking forward to getting after it. And I'm going out to train out in LA with my guys at XL Sports, and I'm just excited to get out there and hopefully prove some people wrong throughout this process, because I felt like I've had that chip on my shoulder the whole time. I believe that I can be a first round draft pick. I believe that I can go in and lead a organization, and I want to just show and show these teams that they can trust me and bring me in and be that guy.
Your teammates and coaches at Ohio State agree with you. I can't wait to watch you change narratives about yourself going into the NFL, and I'm excited as hell that you get the opportunity to celebrate getting to the top of the mountain. Not a lot of people do, brother. Everything you've done your entire life has led to this enjoyment, this moment. I hope you have a blast celebrating it all, and congratulations on being a national champion, brother.
Thank you guys, man. Appreciate y'all having me on. I've been a big fan for a while, so this is pretty cool.
Little babyface assassin coming on the program. Do you think it is because you look like you're 12? Do you think that's why people think maybe not in the NFL because that's an adult, that's a grown men's league, and you look like you're 13 years old? Do you think
that could be, man? I've been getting called that like the last 2 weeks a lot more, and I didn't even know where it came from. And then I saw the clip of you calling me that, and I was like, oh, damn, that's pretty funny.
Okay, you like it. All right, sweet. Good news. Ladies and gentlemen, we think first-round draft pick.
Yep.
We know national champion. Quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes, Will Howard. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
He's a guy.
Pretty polished as well.
That was awesome.
That was a great interview.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Jovial.
Yeah, great.
His moxie. We talked about it.
Think of the guys we've seen in the NFL playing well, too, that have a ton of reps, a ton of experience in the college game. Those guys have come into the league and excelled early on.
Jaden, Bo Nix. Yeah, but like
CJ out of the Ryan Day camp. Remember, we asked CJ why he did so well. He said Ryan Day in the Ohio State, whatever. That must be what he means. Ryan Day, fucking relentless. I
know how to play quarterback.
I'm the Big 12 Player of the Year right now.
Yeah.
Everything I do is wrong.
I don't even know.
Jeez Louise, that's good coaching.
Yeah.
I like to hear that about Ryan Day.
The development is real, man. Coaching matters. I think the Jalen Hurts, going back to why he was benched and subbed out at Alabama during the national championship game because of his limitations in the pass game. People are still talking about it now, but him going to Oklahoma, playing in that Lincoln Riley system, like that helped his development tremendously, helped him be a second-round pick, and now a franchise quarterback, making the money he's making and one game away from his second Super Bowl. So I can see some similarities there with Will Howard and his progression throughout his college career and what he can probably be on the next level.
So it's either going to be Ohio State, USC, or Miami. I think he would have done this, though, if he would have.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he would.
Man, Cam Ward going to Ohio State would have been nuts, too.
All those, I mean, that's why he gets talked about the way he does.
Oh, yeah.
I could play quarterback with Jeremiah Smith.
So many of them.
That's what people think. The haters. I'm not saying I say that. I'm just saying the people that are haters. I watch the people in the comments, and it's like he'll put a dot, like a ball that Jeremiah Smith doesn't have to be Jeremiah Smith. It could be Boston Connor playing wide receiver. He'll put a ball on somebody, and it's like, that's a Sunday throw. He'll step up in the pocket and hit a slant. That's a Sunday throw. But he's throwing it to Igbuka, who has the most receptions in the history of Ohio State. He's throwing it to Jeremiah Smith, who alien is what they're calling. He's throwing it to Cornell Tate, who's going to be an NFL guy. He's got Judkins and Henderson in the backfield. It's like, that is what people think, well, I could do that. It's like the plays he makes, though, if you watch the plays, it's like he has to make a play at a high level as well, not just the person that he's making a play with. And he does. I mean, he's this guy's the real fucking deal. Legit. Yeah. I feel that way.
I think a big part of his projections are kind of what he said, too. Like, once you play 3 years in college, like, people make up their mind about most players. It's hard to change it. Most guys that go in the first round, they're tabbed as first-round guys, like, after their freshman year most of the time. Or, like, Arch,
even in high school.
Arch hasn't even played a season yet. Correct. Five-star recruit, he's going to be first. He's going to be first overall pick. You already know. Even if he sucks his first year, has an average year, which we don't expect, he's still going to be a first-round pick because that's what everybody, that's the consensus, and it's a lot of groupthink, I think. So when you go to a place like Ohio State and you are surrounded with this type of talent, but he replaced, Kyle McCord. McCord is done great things in Syracuse, but he came there to upgrade that position. And so knowing where to go with the ball, because when he plays on Sundays, everybody's a Sunday guy. So knowing where to go to the ball, taking completions, taking profit, being in that Chip Kelly system, just around a guy who's been around so many guys and been around football for so long, that just changes your whole idea of how you even view football. So I'm excited about him. I'm looking forward to his future on the next level.
It does sound like he will not be playing in the Senior Bowl. And also, shouldn't. Like, hey, you've had to play 4 extra games than everybody else anyways. You've already had 4 All-Star games that the whole world has been watching. If he would have played in the Senior Bowl 1 week from now, I think we all would have been like, don't have to.
I don't think Riley should play either after watching last night.
Yeah, no way. He went through 18-play drive, first drive, record-breaking drive to start that game for Notre Dame. Think about how different that game got from then obviously middle of the third quarter, then into the middle of the fourth quarter. Both quarterbacks had to show, like, competitive spirit, like answering instead of cowering down. They obviously both did, but Will Howard has that. Like, in his biggest games, he played his best football. It's like, I love this guy. I love this guy, man. That is literally how I feel about Will Howard.
Well, I think the development thing is a big because like when he was at Kansas State, they basically used him like Tebow. Like he was the best. I mean, he had Ben Sinnott, who was a 3rd-round pick, but like outside of that, like his skill guy, he didn't have a bunch of skill guys getting drafted. Like he was the best player on the field. So like I think last night was definitely the most times he's run the football in a game this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he played completely different than he did when he was at Kansas State, and obviously, like that says a lot about Chip Kelly and Ryan Day and his development because he's a better quarterback overall today than he probably was when he left Kansas State.
He was good on the show too.
Awesome.
Was
Very good. Well, I just think back, think of Stetson Bennett after they won the national championship when he was on Good Morning America and he just was.
He said they hung out in the hotel lobby too. I love that. Mm-hmm. That somebody probably had a speaker too, maybe 2 speakers. Yeah. Bobby Carpenter had his own.
Yeah,
he was just singing.
Did he fly on the plane? Well, that's what we should ask. Was Bob Carpenter on the plane ride back?
I don't believe so, but it would never surprise me if Bob found his way on that plane.
Okay, because he posted a video of being right behind the police escort of the buses back in Columbus.
Jason,
what? He's in a car behind him. So I didn't know if he was on the plane and they knew where it was, or if he had his car parked on the side of the road waiting for the boys. Mm-hmm. And then he was back in there.
Driving the HVAC van.
We got people waiting at FBOs in Chicago for Ben Johnson to arrive. Creepy. That'll freak you out, especially if you're going to one of those FBOs. But we got field reporting happening at a much larger rate now with X, and journalists being now everywhere all the time and an ability to place. And Bobby Carpenter was certainly a part of that. I mean, he was 10 feet behind the cop that was on the tail end of the escort of the buses heading back.
Let me in.
And he said, the Buckeyes are back. Yeah, I thought he was trying to get in.
Let me in.
Yeah, I thought I heard it because I was trying to listen to it, but it was kind of faint. But he was talking like, should I pass these guys?
The escorts are...
the ones in Ohio. We talked about this last night. The Ohio police escort was the greatest escort in the history of police escorts.
No, Penn State police escort, real deal. Penn State police escort was real. We went sidewalk pretty much.
The biker cops were the best. Biker cops that shut down the highway, like the on-ramps, were the best.
Yeah, they get all pissed off and they're standing on top of their fucking place.
Yep.
Like this one coming down the street if there's a hill. It's like they're doing this number here on top of a fucking motorcycle.
That's sick.
And it's just like rolling, and it's like, what's that asshole doing? He's letting people on the other side of the hill know that we're fucking coming. It's like, he certainly is. Is he gonna? And then he hops his feet back down, gets back down on the motorcycle. They go crazy. Whenever the motorcycle cops get a little sass, that's a good one. They start, and then circle back. I've seen one circle back and then rejoin the.
Pull their gun out and, their finger off the trigger, but, point their gun at them sometimes.
I've never seen that. Yeah. Just so we're all in same.
I was hopeful a few times that would happen.
Oh, you were pulling for that.
Yeah.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, might have been the tail end of the police escort for the national champion Ohio State Buckeye football team whenever they got back into Columbus. He saved football in the Big Ten a few years back. Ladies and gentlemen, congrats on another national championship, too. The General, Bob Carpenter.
Yeah.
General, congrats on a national championship, brother. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I mean, I got about 40 minutes of sleep. I did my morning show at 6. I think I went to bed at about 4:15. So I woke up at about 5:30. It was a rough day. And then as I'm pulling in, driving out, my wife's picking me up, and I'm like, holy smokes, there's the motorcade leading everybody around. My wife was like trying to slide into it. I go, they're going to run your ass off the road, dear. Like, we better give them some distance here, okay? These police are in mean business.
So you were waiting on the side of the road for the motorcade to come so you could report that it was happening, or it just so happened?
Coach, my wife picked me up at the airport. We're pulling out of the main terminal. They come like back off the tarmac right there as we're pulling out. I mean, they were right there in front of us. And we live right down the street from campus. So I go, of course, they're going there. They're going to have everybody lined up. And so, I mean, these cops, watching motorcades is amazing because people try to like slide through, and these dudes are swerving over at them. Like, they'll put you in the wall, man. They don't care.
Yeah, they will. They will, at least with their eyes and their fingers, will try to scare you into driving into a wall. Police escorts are a fantastic thing, especially whenever it's a celebration like it is certainly here for the Buckeyes. You said you're running on about 40 minutes of sleep. We just talked to Will Howard. He said in the lobby they were hanging out last night, obviously enjoying this all. How'd you enjoy it all? And at what point did you know this was possible with this Ohio State Buckeye team, Bobby?
So, I hung out. It took me forever after the game, hanging out, getting interviews, doing, everything, getting out of there. Got back to the hotel about 1:45, ordered 4 drinks before they closed the bar. And then went down to
as one would do. Need 4 of these things.
Yeah, it's a vet move. I mean, I go, listen, dude, I need 4 Casamigos and sodas right here. It's like, I'll tip you $25. It's open bar. I go, I know there's a million people backed up. Just pour them strong, no ice. Just dump it in there. I mean, we're all about business, dude. It's 145. Like, I'll just shoot it into my veins if you need to.
And I'll give you $25 for that.
Okay? Absolutely. And then I went down. You talked about Will Howard. So I go down like, hey, let's go to the Hyatt Regency. That's where the players are staying. I go, dude, nobody's up. It's like 3:15. And I'll be damned. We go down there, and Will is there. Dude, they've got a whole crowd surrounding him. He's got his guy, Seth McLaughlin. They date a pair of sisters. So it was unbelievable. And they're like, hey, Coach Bobby, coming on in. And,
Coach Bobby.
Yeah, drinking warm beers that they had pre-bought from like probably an hour before at that point. But the poor folks at the Hyatt Regency, I mean, Pat, all they want to do is go to bed. And you've got like 150 Buckeye fans. This dude comes up to me and he's like, Bob, you want a drink? I'm like, sure, I guess. And just pulls a bottle of scotch out of the inside of his coat pocket and just like, here you go, dude. Hammer it down. I'm like, I don't even like scotch, but I mean, this is the best thing we got going.
Yeah, so that's what happens. And the Hyatt Regency knew what they signed up for. If you're going to have a bunch of Ohio State people in here, if they win a national championship, Ohio's going to Ohio. How does it feel? And when did you know this team was going to be able to win it? Will Howard, I don't know if I had any judgment on him at all. When he's in the Big 12, he's a great player. Kansas State. Obviously, West Virginia, he has done great things. Following along, he's Will Howard. He goes to Ohio State. They're spending a lot of money on the roster. Okay, they lose to Oregon earlier. Everybody's dumping on him. I don't think I still had an opinion on him. Lose to Michigan, I still don't think I really have an opinion on him. He's Will Howard. Like, it's kind of what it is. Then getting to watch this playoff run and seeing how tall he is, seeing how much the boys love him, hearing he's out drinking warm beers after a national championship with the offensive line and other people, it's like the more I learn about this guy, the more I love him. You've obviously been around Coach with the boys longer than we have and known them long. When did you know this team could possibly do this? And when did you know Will was a guy? And what was the stories you heard about him?
I thought this team always had the talent. Obviously, after that Michigan game, you saw that shift. After the first Oregon game, that defense started to shift. But with Will, it was unbelievable. It's tough to be a transfer quarterback to come in a 1-year off situation because you're expected to be a leader, but you're also expected to earn that leadership really quickly. And you can't come in and just be, me. Those guys have all been playing together for 4 and 5 years. You've got to prove it to them. And so Will did a great job coming in, putting his head down and just grinding. I mean, he's a big dude. When he first came in on his visit about this time last year, like I thought he was a tight end. They're bringing his tight end from Ohio University. I thought that was him at first. Like, he's a big guy. He's physical, and he's a selfless dude. And that's the thing that you love to see him. Like, he's not, maybe the guy that has the best running style you're going to find. He's not the best athlete of everybody, but he just seems to get things done, man. And you see the fire that he plays with. And you guys both played. Anytime you play with a dude that's just willing to throw it out there for you, especially a quarterback, and put his body on the line, that's when it starts to turn. And the last piece, man, that connectivity that he has with Ryan Day, like, dude, you don't see coaches like jumping onto their players' arms like that, their shoulders, like after a win. There was something really special with those guys, and it was fun to see. And that, to me, was that missing elixir that makes those championship teams special.
Elixir, yeah, it was the missing elixir, wasn't it? Yeah, it certainly was. Go ahead, AJ.
Bob, what about the defense? I mean, these guys played unbelievable, I feel like, all year, especially in the playoffs, but especially the linebackers, Cody Simon, Sonny Styles, the boys, like they seem to get better and better as the season. When you watch their defense play, I mean, you're basically embedded with the squad. You're around these guys a bunch. What's it been like watching these guys grow throughout their careers at Ohio State and ultimately cap it off like this?
So Cody Simon, he's defensive MVP in the national championship game. This is a guy that never really was a starter till his 5th year in college. And he's playing behind Tommy Eichenberg, Steel Chambers, some good players. And, I talked to him last offseason. Like, the secret to success in life, man, and half of it is just keep showing up and doing a good job. Like, you'll eventually get your shot. You're eventually going to put together, a pretty good reel. And, man, he was the leader of that defense. He was the heart and soul of that defense. Their goal line stands, the things they've been able to do, how tough they were against Notre Dame in their rushing attack, and just really physical up front. But there was a connectivity with these guys, and you saw with Jack Sawyer, JT, bringing in Caleb Downs, like all of these guys together. There was an intensity and a passion you play with. And honestly, Age, you've been a part of like opening drives where they drive the ball on you sometimes. Like I'm sitting on the side like, holy shit, this is a 10-minute drive, 18 plays. I'm tired for them to start the game. Like, you don't get a chance to get your legs under you. They came back out. Offense goes down and scores. 3 and out, bang. Offense scores. 3 and out, bang. And all of a sudden now they score again. It's 21-0 going into half. It's like they answered the bell every time they had to.
Yeah, and the offense, they answered with a 6-minute drive, right? Wasn't it? It was 9:45, and then it was 5:45 to answer. So to your point, though, like if offense doesn't answer there and Ohio State's defense has to go back on the field after a 10-minute drive to start that thing, 18-play, record-breaking drive. That's why the complimentary football buy. And your specialists, McGuire hit some big balls. Jaden Fielding, I think he's a player. How was he during the year, Jaden, the kicker? Because during the playoffs, he's been fantastic, this guy.
He's been good, and the punting's been much better. Like, they've done a much better job. The Michigan game was a little rough, and that's there's wind, there's elements. But, it's awesome for Fielding to watch him hit that kick and seal the game. That's the stuff right there. It's easy to get down on guys, and a lot of people crap on kickers, and the specialists because, man, when you're under the microscope when you screw it up. And to see those guys on the other side then make the play and to watch everybody just lean in on them and love on those dudes, man, it was big. And that complimentary football was so huge. Being able to make sure that you were moving the football, you're backing them up, you're flipping the field, because that's how Notre Dame beats people. I mean, it's Jim Tressel football all the way that AJ and I grew up with, and Ohio State was able to utilize some of that against them.
Marcus Freeman, damn good coach. He had a little bit of pride, right? Obviously not a little bit, a lot of bit of pride that Marcus Freeman obviously was able to lead the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to a national championship in his third year over there as a former Ohio State Buckeye. We ran some highlights during the field pass last night. I don't know if it was on the main broadcast or not. I would assume it was. He was a dog for the Buckeyes. Yeah. Ohio fuck, too. Like, he's a proud Ohio fuck, I believe. Still benching 315. Has to be able to squat 315 and bench 315 at all times. He said that's a non-negotiable going forward. He's one of you guys, obviously phenomenal coach. And you talk about Tressel being like a special ingredient for him to kind of lean on. He's building it the right way over there. Has to be a lot of pride out of the Ohio people, or no?
Oh, absolutely. And I told Marcus, I talked to him before the Florida State game. I was so happy with how he's coached, what he's done, the culture he's built up there. I mean, Pat, benching 315 and squatting 315, that's just a way of life, man. You got to be able to defend yourself, defend your family. I mean, you have no idea what could happen at some point in time. And, the last thing you want to do is tell a story about how you got overpowered and someone, stole your daughter from you because you weren't able to, you have the strength. So just think about that next time you're in the weight room and you're like, I'm just going to maybe do something a little cosmetic. I need to be able to still punch and strike somebody at a moment's notice. And so Marcus embraces that. He wants to look like a dude out there so his players don't look at him and think that they might be the alpha of the pack. And so it's a big deal.
Well said.
It is. Wow. I never thought about being in a situation where I get outpowered from my daughter.
Yeah.
And once you start piecing it that way, I saw little Mackenzie looking at her dad going, what the fuck just happened? You're right. Maybe it isn't just for looks. Maybe we do got to get in there and start hitting start hitting a pad again a little bit. Maybe start moving a little, maybe more explosive exercise. Yeah, so we still got it a little bit. I'm not too old to defend myself.
No.
This is a matter of life or death, potentially.
Yeah.
Way of life.
Thank you, General. On that note, you got away with words. D-Bud has a question for you.
You just mentioned on the sideline. I remember being on the sideline, I think before the Cotton Bowl, you were kind of giving me the rundown of the guys on that defense especially. And I had some sources inside the program that said, you're still maybe dialing up some blitzes over there. I saw a beautiful blitz, beautiful cross dog during the game. Was that your blitz that Jim Knowles called?
No, Jim, listen, man, I wish, but, listen, Jim Knowles, he dials those things up really well. And he does a great job. Him and James working with those backers. And I love giving them crap because those guys, we talk about legacy. One of the things I take the most pride in is, when AJ and I and Schlegs, we left Ohio State, our legacy was Marcus Freeman and James Laurinaitis. Can those guys take over the room? Are they going to be able to get everything done in the way that you want? And now, watching that still carry on with Cody Simon, Sonny Styles, the Arvell Reese, the way those guys go back and forth and the way that they play and the tenacity that they play with, that's something that feels great. And so you see that fire. Yeah, my dialing up days, those are long past me by. I wish that I had some of that skills, but Jim Knowles is like a mad scientist being able to get that done.
They're saying he's potentially leaving or no? What do you think?
I'm not sure. Like, I saw that coming down yesterday. I was like, oh gosh, like I just want to focus on the game. I was hoping it wasn't going to be a distraction. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. I'm not sure. Like, my goodness, he's one hell of a defensive coordinator. I'm guessing Ryan's going to fight like hell to keep him. That's where Ross Bjork, the AD at Ohio State, like President Carter slap shot. You sit down. Like, we won a national title. This guy's a big part of it. Well, what's the financial package that we need to put together to be able to keep him? And that's the modern day of college football, and you got to figure that out.
Coach, you got a radio show, local sports, right there in Columbus?
Yes, sir.
Every morning?
6 to 9.
So you're actually the show. First of all, the fact that you're still doing 6 to 9 a.m. radio every single day. You're a dog.
That's the general difference.
That is the difference. You're an absolute dog. But there's not a lot of towns you can do that in still.
No.
Columbus, Ohio, Sports Talk 6 to 9, still in because of the Buckeyes. Are you guys going to give Ryan Day a break or what? Are you guys going to give me? What? You're probably the one, 6 to 9 a.m. local sports talk?
Fire this fucking guy.
That is probably who it is.
It set the narrative.
Certainly, that is probably what it is. I mean, I know maybe not you in particular, but that was the national narrative that was taking place in a lot of different situations. I assume the reason why it was that is because there were certainly some people in Ohio that felt that way, and that's just a part of the business. Like, if you don't win anything, like, people are going to wonder if you're ever going to be able to, and now Ryan Day has. What does that mean to the Buckeye people, you think, into local sports talk maybe, that sets a narrative or drives an agenda, potentially?
I love Ryan. I get a chance to talk to him, and I watch him practice and seeing those guys. Like, Ryan Day is a hell of a football coach. Now he ultimately has the title to back that up. There's only 3 active coaches in college football that have won national championships. And with him and Kirby Smart and Dabo Swinney, like, that's it. That's the list. That's all they have. And so for him to be able to do that, to get that, that is a big piece, a big feather in his cap. There are people out there that said, hey, even if they win this national championship, he still should be fired, because of this.
What? This is what we're talking about.
There was like, hey, is this national championship? I was asked this morning, I'm doing a hit on XM, and like, it was an unfinished, or they had like an asterisk by it because you didn't win the Big Ten, didn't beat Michigan. I'm like, listen, man, those people can go back and live on Misery Island. They're the ones that are always going to complain about something. They were the best in the country. They beat 5 top 5 teams, man. Their offensive line, I was like putting this little diagram together. They played 9 different guys on the offensive line this year, and they went up against some of the best D lines and were able to run the ball and protect well. Like, they did one hell of a job. Gosh, I cannot give enough flowers to Ryan Day, and then also Justin Fry, the O-line coach that everybody was shitting on as well. Like, those guys are damn good football coaches. And I told Ryan, if you weren't the guy, I'd tell you I didn't think you were good. I've been around good coaches. Pat, you've been around good coaches. AJ, you've been. But all you guys, you've seen good, you've seen bad. And I go, man, I'm not always going to just play the results all the time. Like, sometimes it just doesn't work out and it's not your day. But, man, when you have a good one, you got to keep them.
Yeah, and if you believe in somebody's process, I think that's the whole thing. So whenever a coach who hasn't been able to win is getting judged, you have to judge the process. How do we think the day in, the day out, the coaching is going? Everybody that was around the football program, as Kirk Herbstreit said, cooler heads, the AD, the president, people that have been around feel a certain way about Ryan Day because they watch him work. Not everybody gets to see that, And coaching is a results-oriented business. The results are great for Ryan Day. He's a national champion.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him. Congratulations to you, General. We can't thank you enough for joining us on such short notice, brother.
Hey, anytime, guys. Love coming on.
What did you? Misery Island.
Yeah. Go back.
Kick their ass over there.
Bob, you going to try to practice next year to get in the playoffs? You're going to try to. I know you used to strap up the pads and go against the boys.
I mean, if I need to, whatever it takes, for the program, for the group. I'm here to help. I'll do whatever I can. I can still squat 315. Pat, I can still bench 315.
You can lunge 315 for 100 yards, Bob. We know that.
We'll see. We'll see where we're at on that. But listen, you were talking about Ryan Day in the hot seat. Nothing cools off a hot seat, folks, like a Gatorade bath. I promise you that.
Well said.
Boom.
I'll tell you what, General.
Wow.
Quote it.
Put on the sticker.
Put it down there. Wow. You're 100% right. God, that was amazing. You're the man, ladies and gentlemen. The General, Bobby Carpenter.
Yeah, General.
What a line.
Nothing cools off a hot seat like a Gatorade bath. Bar.
Yeah. Throw a bitch on the
I'm
internet.
surprised I've never heard that one.
That's a phenomenal.
That's got to be a general. original.
That's a general first.
Yeah, that's why
got a
when
bunch of those.
That's,
Got a lot of them.
that's why when he delivered it, you know,
Oh yeah,
he had a George W.
Oh yeah,
almost.
he knew.
Oh,
This is the one. Misery Island too, kicking back.
Yeah.
Elixir, he said. Just so many.
He's ready to go.
3 hours local sports talk in the morning, 6 a.m. start time.
Hour
It's
of
so
sleep.
early. I started, really doing all this, because of last night with him, with Bob and Tom, which is a local morning radio show, comedy, huge business, huge show. They had a local hour on Tuesdays because they were nationally syndicated on like 180 channels or something like that. They owned it too. So they were licensing it to all these channels, but they were based here in Indianapolis. Originally Michigan, they moved down to Indianapolis and this became home base and they were licensing it out everywhere. And for the local radio station that was their home where their studio was, they did like a local 30 minutes, like Colts talk on Tuesday. Jeff Saturday did that for a long, long time. Jeff Saturday leaves to go to the Green Bay Packers. And they didn't know who was going to fill in. And I think Jeff and a couple other people were like, you should get the punter. You should get the punter. By this point, I had already been, public intoxication and did the entire thing. And Bob and Tom asked me if I wanted to do the local hour on Tuesdays or whatever. And I had watched their show when I was younger because it was on TV for like a year. And then I lived in the car, with my dad doing soccer tournaments basically my entire childhood. So I'd known Bob and Tom basically like my whole life. I had heard of who these people were. And I said, no, I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to do any of that. I didn't mind people just knowing me from being the internet. And I didn't want to go in and ruin their fucking show. I was like, I'm not going to be that guy. People already hate me for enough reasons. I don't need to come in and ruin your show that's been a wagon for 30 years. Tom Griswold sits me down and says, like, you'll be a fucking idiot. You don't come and do a show. In more or less words. So I came and did the show. And after the first week, I fell in love with it. Like the way this show operates is kind of how their show is set up. A lot of people take credit for our show following their path. And the fact is, I've never watched those shows. Bob and Tom show, I was lucky to be a part of for a couple years, and they're one of the most successful radio shows, talk shows in the history of anything, and they own it. So it's been like the way they went about doing their business was great. There was a time actually where I was thinking about retiring before I retired, like maybe a year or 2 years before I retired, where I was maybe going to try to join them full time. And it was good because of how much fun I had and how much I enjoyed it and how much I loved it. And then I tried it for like a week straight. Mm-hmm. That 6 a.m. show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Your bedtime's 8.
Yeah.
You got to be up 3:30.
Not if you're Bob.
Gotta have
Not
juice.
if you're the general.
My whole thing is juice.
Yeah, you gotta have juice.
My whole thing is like
Morning
energy
drive.
and juice, and it's like, what? That lifestyle. Your whole life is just.
Bob's been doing it for like over 10 years. He's been doing that show.
Jeez Louise.
Maybe 15 by now.
So much obviously it's nothing in comparison to actual jobs, which we have to preface that always with because we're not complaining. Very lucky. You're talking into a microphone. If you get a job to do that from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and they're going to pay you money to do it, you can take care of it, you're going to fucking do it. Okay, I'm not saying in comparison to actual jobs, but like for me, that was not for me, dog. I learned very, very quickly. That was a whole different animal. So shout out to the general for doing that, always bringing the juice. And when you're filling that amount of time at that early hour, you got to come up with a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it feels like the general always got something. Donnie, he's always got
something. When it comes to the Buckeyes.
Magical brain over there. And they need to start calling his blitzes.
They do. And I know he's been humble. He's been modest.
Him putting the pads back on. If that's what they need, shit.
Anything for the program.
If they're playing a guy that's built like a 45-year-old or whatever,
sure.
And they need to look.
I've told you, he said, man, you should come, man. It's really funny. He goes, don't worry, you don't have to do individual or anything. I know I've told you that. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm not going through individual with the current players, Bob.
For those that don't know, individual is when you're just working out with your position group before practice starts or at the beginning of practice. It's miserable. It is a lot of work.
Your legs, always like underneath like the chutes, the bags, like so your legs are completely dead by the time practice starts.
And there's thuds going on.
I like it.
Yeah.
You guys had to run a lot too. That was
you get the juices flowing. Do some line drills, catch some balls. Indy sucks. I think like when it's cold, like when it's just cold as shit outside. That sucks. You would rather just.
Indy sucks pregame too.
Pregame, I like it pregame too because you take a little hit, get a little pop. Make it go. Get one here. Get a look up lather going.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's good. This guy needs to stop bitching over here, AJ. Yeah,
I mean,
AJ.
Indy at 38 years old is a little. Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's true.
In 28.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. Pretty good show today.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah.
We woke up having no idea. Yeah, woke up later too than normally, having no idea. It's great to see the family. It was great to reminisce on the college football year.
Yeah.
Last night.
It was.
And even this morning.
A lot happened.
And during today's show.
Whole lot.
A lot happened. So much change took place right in front of our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're in the middle of a transition era, and it was like cool to be a part of.
No doubt.
Watching it kind of each week. Oh, we got another top 5 matchup. Oh, we got another top 5 matchup. Oh, look out next week. Haven't played in 15 years. Last time they played was national champ. Top 5 matchup.
You seen the week 1 matchup?
Who?
Potentially number 1 versus number 2, Ohio State, Texas.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, by far the number 2 sport in America.
By far.
Not even. By far the number 2 sport in America. And it's like so much room to grow still. Because they show you the NFL number, which, once again, we're not going to get into.
Sure.
How do they know any of it?
They don't.
No, they do.
It's a good estimation.
Remember, everybody has the same estimation, though, so that makes it fair.
Sure.
So that is how it works. Nonetheless, the NFL rating and then the college rating, there is some different. So it could still grow mightily for people that love football, and I think it's going to. And what a cool thing for a sport that's been around and been great for so damn long. That I know it's not a second wind, and I haven't tracked it long enough for when it got really popular, but whatever wind this is, whatever change of gear this is in, it is very real. And the Ohio State Buckeyes are the kings of it right now. So congrats to AJ, congrats to Ohio. Shout out to Will Howard, great work on that, Zito. And who is old buddy that helped make that happen?
Troy.
Troy from
XL.
Thank you, Troy.
Shout out Troy.
Oh, that's where he trained. He said.
From XL, yeah. Troy and Zito working together to get Will Howard on the program. He was great.
He was great. Very, very polished.
Very much so. All right. Boys, great work today. In the back, great work. The graphic boys, good work. And Talk, congrats on another day.
Yeah.
Feels like he's going to be okay.
Yeah, it does.
Reels was kind of okay, though.
Yeah.
It still plays, I think.
Maybe just call him, takes his big computer everywhere with him guy.
Okay, that's a lot of syllables, but it is certainly worthy of a mention every time you look at him.
Yeah.
That this guy brought an entire fucking rig with him on the road, but hey, only way to get anything done.
That's
There
right.
you go. Server too.
Whatever it takes.
Got a job to do.
Brought his rig, server, keyboard. This is my home keyboard.
That's his kit. It's his kit, like Special Forces military people have their kit. That's Talk's kit.
Exactly.
Bingo. It's his tag team partner, he said, actually.
That's his AR.
He said, I don't go anywhere without it, but I've seen him a lot of times. I've never seen that. So I think he kind of lied about that, but I think what he meant was, if I got to get things done, this is coming with me.
You just didn't see it. It was close.
It was tailing him.
It was somewhere within.
He did some
80
great
feet.
work in there. His keyboard, yeah, this is him right here. And then he's got a server underneath the thing. And this is in a different part of a truck because obviously they didn't know all this was coming. 14 hours he was there.
2 coffees.
2 coffees, a water, a Sprite.
Zen, yeah.
Looks like the workstation in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, look at we got some pistachios.
Pistachios, yeah, pretzels,
trail mix,
blueberry bar.
Spitter, water, spitter, 2 coffees.
Remember when he was spitting
Sprite
at that?
Zero.
He's got. You got. It's a real dangerous game he's playing.
Oh yeah.
Which way you're reaching?
A double check.
Remember he was spitting into that cup about this big,
The
clear?
Dixie cup.
Yeah, the shot
Got
glass.
another clear spitter right there. You got to do something about that.
Hey, you're really rolling the dice, Talk, especially with how locked in you get. But we know he's got it under control.
Always does.
He's got everything under control. Yeah, he was. Like when you go into a bathroom that's really hoity-toity, and they have those little cups you can get mouthwash in.
Yeah.
You know those little cups.
I love that.
He was using it as a Zen spitter about 2 feet away from me, and I was like, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. We're not doing that. He goes, well, I don't want to waste a big cup. I was like, you planning on filling that thing to the top?
You don't want to waste a plastic cup.
A big cup.
He's a beautiful mind.
He has a beautiful mind. That's a great way to describe him.
Well said.
Great movie, too. Great movie. Beautiful mind. All right, let's get the hell out of it. We appreciate you, Talk. And your rig, and your server, and your keyboard, and your mouthwash cup that right in my ear. It was awesome.
Classic taco.
D-Bone and Bill were playing a little symphony last night in the van with their breathing.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I caught some of that while we were watching the.
We realized that
game.
you two were
as soon as we got in there.
You two were in the goofball mobile.
Had all the fucking goofballs with you.
I'll tell you what, it was actually pretty good vibes over there. It was very good vibes. It was good vibes in that particular Sprinter van. But D-Bone and Bill were really hitting the. I mean, it was
playing drums with their nose whistles.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah. It was unbelievable.
We should check on Debo to make sure he's alive. He had a brain splitting headache because he didn't get his 3 gallons of pop this morning.
Yeah.
So
He's having like
withdrawals. Shaking.
They were talking about people with their TikTok withdrawals. Did you see that article?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you're going to shake a little bit. Okay. You're going to feel hopeless for a little bit. You might be in the fetal position on the ground because you're going through withdrawals of scrolling. Don't worry, you'll get through it or whatever. It's like, holy shit. And then I wanted to make fun of them. And then I thought about if they just dropped X off my phone, what I would do.
Be a problem.
I probably just wouldn't use my phone.
Go back to the flip.
You'd be all right. You'd figure it out.
I just probably wouldn't use my phone. I'd be like, all right, what are we on here for? Getting text messages from people I don't know? I don't think so. I'll get rid of this thing. You can hit me with an email. You can hit me with an email if you need me, but I'm going to check it once a month like a Mormon who's on a mission. BYU was the story this year.
Yes, they were. Big story. They were
Almost
one game
made the playoff.
One game away from the playoff.
Iowa State was a big story this year. Colorado, obviously, a big story. Always going to be, as long as. Which is a story right now.
Well, Kelly Mo's
Well,
going.
yeah.
Cowboys, though.
He ain't going nowhere.
Everybody know.
It's Kelly Mo.
We'll be back tomorrow. Won't we, AJ? Oh, you drinking your, what are you drinking, your little electrolytes?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, that one's a deep red. You need it today. That's scarlet red drink today.
Deep red.
That's a spark with
On
the
purpose.
L-arginine. I got on the AJ.
Boom.
He was eating baby carrots this morning. Tone, you're doing the aminos now?
Yeah.
Let's go, Tone. Let's go,
yeah.
Tone.
Shit.
The baby carrot snack is a good move. That's when trying to get in shape.
Dip in some hummus. You ever do that?
No.
Some ranch?
I was thinking
Good.
we actually talked peanut butter and ranch, but hummus sounds like the healthiest version, which is
Yeah.
why he brought it up.
Good.
That's where we need to get to, it sounds
I
like.
go with the Maserati light ranch dip, which, I'll get the hummus one day, but
What is hummus?
Shite.
Chickpeas ground up.
Sucks.
Really?
Whatever
Where's-
chickpeas are.
It's Mediterranean?
chickpeas are chickpeas.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Believe so, yeah.
They grind them up. It's good, man. I'm telling you.
Tastes
Get
like
some
shit.
celery, some carrots. It's a good little, miniature appetizer situation when you're
I
starving.
feel like hummus is like guac where, no, actually all guac is probably good, but there are some hummuses that are better than others. for
Okay,
sure.
so
for sure.
Remember I got a text from Gary V. Said he was doing a poll on how do you eat your hummus, is what he said. This is a few years back. And I didn't know what it was. And I was like, I don't know what that is. He goes, you can eat it in a variety of different forms. Which way do you eat it? I didn't know you could. I guess hummus.
What ways? How else do you eat it? What does he mean?
I thought veggie dipping was basically.
I guess you can put people put it on like a sandwich or a wrap.
Pita
I don't-
bread.
Yeah, pita bread.
Yeah, I guess it is a versatile thing.
It stinks.
You don't like it?
No.
It's not the best.
Is it creamu?
It is creamy.
Yeah.
It's a bit creamy-ish, yeah.
But it doesn't touch
My wife loves
I think it's great.
Is creamu American now?
No.
Yeah.
That's
turns
what I
out.
heard. Just
No,
like the
you-
golf,
you
brother.
can't get Kraft, brother.
Yeah, we got creamu and we got the golf.
You go on Amazon, it's still $70 to get a bucket of creamu.
Well, I think that's more, which is the whole conversation, I think.
Canada's about to turn
Hey,
to chocolate.
when you throw your heart to a group of people,
Yep. Yeah. What about it?
you
I'm throwing it overhand if I do. If I ever throw my heart, I'm throwing overhand. Bam.
Smart.
Catapult.
Yeah,
Athlete.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
can
I
go
think you
through-
had it with the double arm though. The 2-arm
Yeah.
throws.
Yeah,
was the
double
best.
it.
Boom. Yeah.
The
You got to watch
cricket
it though.
one-
Elon shouldn't do that.
Cricket one was
Elon,
good.
no.
The cricket one wasn't bad because it gets so good.
That was good. That was good.
You really get the fucking.
He was dancing around the stage before that.
Yeah, there's a lot of this. They're really celebrating over there.
Just stick to you can't go
What
wrong
a
with a
unique
good thumbs
group.
up.
Always plays.
Point always. I'm always pointing. Triple H also always pointing.
He was pointing a bit.
Yeah,
With
the
all
way
the
he went
fingers?
about pointing, I think, was the thing. I don't think you need to point with all four.
Okay.
Unless you really need to get a point across, which is what everybody was saying.
Goofball.
I hope that's all. Hope he's just a big goofball.
He's throwing his heart out there.
I agree.
It was very. We'll be back tomorrow.
Okay.
We're gonna throw our hearts out tomorrow.
With 2 hands.
Hell yeah. I wish I had 2 more hands so I could throw my heart out with 4 palms.
Bingo.
If only.
Chappelle, 18 minutes Saturday Night Live opening monologue. I have not heard it yet because we've been so busy. Awesome. Anybody listen to it?
That's too long for me.
I saw 18 minutes. I have not been able to commit to it yet because of everything that's been going on.
Yeah, I've only heard his closing remarks. I have also not heard.
His take on Diddy was awesome.
Okay, that's my wife brought that up as well. She says he talks about Diddy in there. I go, what does he say? He says he's base. She goes, I don't want to ruin it. I'm like, ooh.
So it must be.
It's a good angle.
Pretty good.
It's a good angle. Chappelle with a microphone going to be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll listen to that. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
That's tomorrow's show.
Boom. I thought he was sleeveless.
Huh?
I thought I saw he was sleeveless.
Yeah, he dresses awesome. Just always with that. Just sig.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool look.
It is.
Great.
Remember the guy from World Series of Poker? He just had that cigar.
Phil Ivey?
And then somebody had a cig too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget the name.
Glenn, John,
Scotty Wynn.
Scotty Wynn, was it?
Scotty Wynn had the unlit cigarette.
Did
that
he?
used to just dangle out
I
of
think
his
so.
mouth. Yeah, because he was the Das Polka, baby.
They were legends back then.
There's a lot of characters then.
So all of them. I mean, we could probably run through them right now. Phil Ivey, Phil Hellmuth, Daniel Negreanu.
Mike the Mouth Mattisau.
Oh my God, I forgot about Mattisau.
The Unabomber.
When there was multiple Wens, right? And then that guy was married to that lady who was also a
The Jim Carrey movie.
poker
Yeah.
player. Yes, Jim Carrey.
Jennifer Tilly. Jennifer Tilly, that's her name.
Yeah. And then who were the commentators? You remember the commentators?
Norm, Chad, and Lon.
they were
Lon
so
and
good.
Karen.
World Series of Poker.
So good.
What a that took over.
It did.
Changed my life forever.
Yeah.
I mean, actually changed my life.
Fossil Man.
Chris Moneymaker Smith.
Greg Raymer.
Greg Raymer.
If they
Those
did-
glasses were the worst. I hated everything
That's
about
fossil, man.
If they
I
did
hate
like
it.
a.
If he was at the table, I was not happy. Get this guy the fuck out of here. I don't like. Give me Phil Ivey in here. Give me Hellmuth in here. Give me the kid poker, whatever. Daniel and Negreanu.
Mm-hmm.
And then rest in peace, Texas Dolly, obviously.
Obviously.
Love you, Dole.
People really turn that into full professions.
Yeah.
They're still doing it.
Oh yeah.
I opened YouTube TV because I got Sunday ticket on it, and they just got a bunch of fucking channels that I haven't seen in a long time down there. Alphabetical order. Hate it. Hate everything about it.
I think you could change that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I need to figure out how to do that.
Sure.
Also, you can take the YouTube TV delay out there, say.
Yes.
Okay, need to do that as well.
If you've good.
You've done it?
Yes.
It works?
Yes.
YouTube TV is good.
It is.
Very good.
Great product.
And if we can get rid of the delay and we can figure out the search thing, it's good. But I'll get, I don't know, 5 minutes into a fucking down, okay, hitting down in this thing with a little tiny remote because the TV's remote is a smart TV remote, which is a shite remote. But I guess you can get actual remotes to plug into it, but then I got to fucking code the goddamn remote.
that's not-
I don't have that time. Who has the time or the ability? I don't know. So I'm using this shitty little thing. They got a bunch of poker things still going. They got house games happening. They got tournaments happening. I think World Series of Poker just started like maybe a week ago. They're still doing it. Same guys too.
Still bringing it.
Still bringing it.
Still bringing it.
I don't know if anybody's watching it though. They should.
Probably not.
Society needs that to get back. People need to poker more.
Big time.
A little bit more business. These entrepreneurial kids would love poker, I think, if they were to watch it.
Is
do
Mike
it all
Chen still
online.
doing it?
Mike Chen.
Mike Chen.
Talking about Johnny Chan.
Johnny Chan, yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah. He was the
Mike
founder.
Chen. I think Mike Chen is a commentator that I did virtual reality with. I think in a trailer at Cincinnati for Microsoft or something like that. I think his name. I forget. I could be wrong. I never heard of Mike Chen though.
I had a classmate, Mike Chen. I think is where it's coming from.
Where at?
Really?
A Plum?
Your elementary school?
Yeah, no, yeah, back at Plum Elementary School. Yeah, PES. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. That's
Or were you?
We got multiple elementary.
It's a different school.
Oh, she don't go here?
Yeah, exactly.
Never heard of
We
it.
know a couple of those.
We don't actually.
Well, we know one.
Let's get to a break. We'll be back tomorrow. Fun times.
Fun times.
What a dumb life. We're standing on that fucking end zone. Just standing there.
Sick.
30 feet away from literally everything happening. What's up with Spanx? What's up with Spanx?
Guy works hard.
Who's that?
Someone had to tell him.
friend?
Someone had to tell him, like, hey, you get the shot no matter what it
This
takes.
guy wearing these tights and Spanx with his whole hat in his hair.
Oh, that goofball.
What is his deal?
He is a fucking goof.
How come I'm turning around? This guy's always taking pictures of us. Why are you taking pictures of us, dude? Just do your fucking thing. You're waltzing around the field. We get it. Fucking get away from us. What are you doing? This guy's taking it. The boys watch this guy take how many pictures of us? 20?
Yeah.
20 pictures of us?
It's weird.
Weird, dude.
Mark.
Why don't you just do your thing? Well, we see you doing your thing on the thing. You look like a pretty good little athlete. Got great hair. Yeah. Leave us the fuck alone, Spanks.
Gets the shots.
Who's the other guy?
The other guy?
The other guy?
That you called out in the middle of your call. Got a camera.
There is a man with a camera that we do not know directly to our right.
Oh, yeah.
Will Howard in shotgun. Yeah, that's... I mean, that is a problem of mine. My brain can't do that. Can't not do that.
There's a lot of that at
it's a
those
good problem.
games, too. Like, you just... Like, they're very tight with the security, obviously, but you can see how just, like, some fucking random Joe Schmo gets down there and just, oh, yeah, I should be down here. Why not?
Absolutely. No, I think security did a great job.
They did.
They were trying not to freeze the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were very cold.
They had security standing at, like, the entrances of these places, which might have had 40-mile-an-hour winds.
At least.
Yeah.
Because
Wind tunnels everywhere.
The vacuum effect of these things opening and then air getting, it was just probably 40-mile-an-hour winds, I will say. Because it was, like, actively blowing jacket, like, had to keep jacket on, fight it a little bit. And it was freezing cold. And these security people, you got your badge?
Yeah.
Do you have a soul right now?
Yeah.
Do you have...
You had to scan your badge for this one. This is the first time we had to scan our credential to get on there the first time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You came from the top. You came through the crowd, so
That was
you didn't have to do
that was pregame. I think like when you know how the pregame, like when the team's on the field and you could watch for a little bit and they have the ropes, like the roped off sections. It was for those, but for some reason we had to scan ours as well.
Yeah, I probably assume there's different levels to what people purchased. You know, a lot of money spent last night in there. Not on the concessions though. That was cool to learn that.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
That whole board for $40.
Crazy.
That was so good.
That started other places doing that too. I remember when they opened Arthur Blank, that was a big deal, making things like affordable. I know other places like Utah. I know they have like a lot of places are trying to do that because ticket prices are $1 billion.
How about the $20 pizza, popcorn, pretzel,
nachos,
chicken fingers,
$20? It's like for each thing. Like that's what people are programmed to think at these venues.
Oh yeah.
It's like $20 for a piece of pizza. It's like no, $20 for the whole thing. It's like take my money. Like that is kind of how you feel whenever you hear these prices.
Oh yeah.
People are paying $2,200 average resale price last night to get in there. Let alone down a lower bowl. That means more than that. The average price is that, let alone what everything else is. Yeah, it was awesome. I really appreciate that they were doing it. Levy Dining, is that what it was called? Levy Restaurant?
Yep.
They run a bunch of stadiums.
Just like Sodexo Live is in a bunch. So Levy probably does a bunch. Sodexo does a bunch. This commercial stuff.
$5 for a Bud Light is fucking insane. I mean, they'll charge $18 for that
anywhere else.
Yeah, because they know you're going to need it.
Exactly.
They know you're going to. Some of you might actually need it.
Yeah.
And there's no other place you get because you can't bring outside in.
And they know you want it.
So they can charge whatever they want for that. That's like at the Kentucky Derby taking those bets. They can rake whatever they want on top of it.
Yeah.
Not that they do. I'm just saying that you this is the only option. This is the only. Anytime they got you, they try to take advantage of you. So they're not doing it is a big deal. Should be talked about.
For sure.
Shout out Art. Way to go, Art.
Boy, Art.
He's gouging people at Home Depot, but we don't need to get into that.
What's up with this lumber?
Exactly.
I don't love what's going on.
Exactly.
Supply chain.
Yeah, it's the suppliers.
Yeah.
All right. I've been watching Lorax.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Seuss.
That's right. That little fucker loves the woods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've seen some love trees more than that thing. And it is, it's certainly admirable. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I love the way he operates. Those trees look so awesome.
That's Dr. Seuss football.
Yeah. Is it Thneedville? I forget the Thneedville. Thneedville. And I wonder how close it is to Whoville. I don't know. I'm just getting into these. There it is. Yeah. That little fucker with the mustache right there loves trees.
Oh, yeah.
All about it.
Loves force. Loves it. And I love the way he takes a stand. You know, because these other little fuckers get kind of bullied and swayed pretty quickly. These little things, not very loyal. I mean, these things will do whatever you tell them. You throw a marshmallow in front of them, these things, they'll turn on you. No questions asked. That fucker with the mustache is a real deal. We need more with the mustache out there. I would actually put him into a position of power in our world if I had a chance. And that guy, a little bit too much, a little bit too much bravado as you just walk into somebody else's woods the way he did.
Sure.
This is my first time learning any of these stories. Watched and read none of these things growing up. So it's been fun to kind of learn alongside Mackenzie about what we should be liking and what we shouldn't be liking. Because I think sometimes stories telling one particular story and I'm like, wait a second. I feel like we got it wrong here. And that's going to happen between me and Kenzie, and that's where I'm headed right now. I'm going to go see the baby girl a little bit. We'll be back tomorrow with a great program. Huge guest tomorrow.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Do you remember?
Yeah. Can't wait.
Age, you remember?
Obama?
I do not believe President Obama will
Don't
be
sleep on Barry.
I was Dana looking at it.
There it is.
Dana was just trying to get eyes on him. Dana was just,
What happened?
Yeah, just taking a look.
That's the first time probably seeing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Just like we did when Will Howard walked by.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. He's tall. Whoa. Holy shit. How tall I thought he was going to be.
Did Conor McGregor snag up Logan's mom?
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn gave a strict warning not to do that. So, and then he ended up on the ground. So, what a moment. What a time. We're lucky to be alive. We will be your distractions from the sports world for as long as you will have us. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. And when we do this incredibly cool stuff, we feel as if, and we hope as if you feel that you're doing it with us. We can't get past this for everybody who watches the show to come do everything we do.
Sure.
But we hope that you get a chance to maybe say, these dipshits, they know they're living the dumbest life of all time. We're very lucky. We're very fortunate. We're very thankful. And we'll be back tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3, team. Good night.